Hello and welcome to episode 232 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And Jeff, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
How has this cold Christmas season been treating you? You've been playing some nice video games?
You know it.
Getting cozy in the cold times?
Yep. How about you, Darby? You've been playing all those games?
I have been playing I've been playing a good bit of games this holiday season. I mean, a lot of the usual suspects. Lots of Pokemon across 60 hours recently.
Let's go.
Still have to do all the Elite Four and all that garbage, whatever. So I am moving slow, but it's so jolly.
What if I beat the Elite Four?
Not the Elite Four. No, I hadn't even started them.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay.
I grinded up to the level of what I think is kind of around them.
See, when we were talking, I thought you had beat the Elite Four and you had the final fight for the thing.
No. I just killed a bunch of Chanseys.
Oh, okay.
I went on Chansey.
Yeah, do not grind anymore for the Elite Four. You're now over leveled for them.
I thought it was like mid-60s.
Because I thought you were doing the true final fight of that storyline.
Oh, well,
I thought that's where you were at.
Well, we might, the Chansey power might be a little strong, but Chanseys did not die in vain.
Yeah, no more grinding for you.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
For the rest of the game.
I've been bad.
Real talk.
I've been bad. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I've declared.
Okay. Well, if Jeff says it, I listen when it comes to Pokemon. I don't look up anything, so I just kind of all vibes, no thoughts. It's worked out for me so far. And those Chanseys just give you a lot of levels.
Oh yeah,
pretty good. It's the way. Ham sandwiches and Chanseys. Way to go. Oh, Jeff, we have a lot of things to talk about. That's a long ass game talk that we have on here, so I'm excited to for you to lose your voice talking just for an hour on it. And then we're going to look at next year, 2023, because it's right around the corner. We're going to look at games coming up in the next calendar year. Talk about which ones we're excited about, maybe which ones we're not. And,
maybe worried about,
Yeah. And that'll be a podcast.
Yep.
So without further ado, Jeffrey, why don't you start off this giant-ass list of games?
Okay, so... Well, before I get into it, I guess I'll tell you what the part for me for this game talk is. I decided there are a lot of cool smaller games coming out on Game Pass. They came out on Game Pass this year. A lot of them I'm very interested in playing, but haven't gotten around to. Why don't I just play an hour or so of each one and come with my thoughts on here?
Just sampler.
Yeah. Just see how I'm feeling about them. Which ones I want to continue for. I was going to say which ones will I want to continue playing? Well, spoiler alert, when I talk about these games, I want to continue playing all of them. All 5 of the ones I played.
That sounds very dangerous for you, Jeffrey.
Yep,
very dangerous. Very dangerous.
So let's just get into it so I can talk about them. I'm just going to go in the order I played, which is also the alphabetical order of the games I decided on. All these games are on Game Pass, at least PC.
So this is just a giant Game Pass ad, and you're just
you're
giving them free advertisement.
Yeah. I already give Nintendo plenty. It's time to spread the love. Sony, step up your game. All right. Now, after we made the internet mad, let's talk about High on Life. The first one I played, the Justin Roiland, the Squanch Games. And his funny voices.
So, 1 hour?
Yep. Yeah, all these were 1 hour, give or take some.
Yeah.
Most of them I think were...
Did this game get going in 1 hour? Were you out of the tutorial in 1 hour?
Yes. So the cool thing they do with this with a tutorial is your character is playing a video game. It's not the actual game. It's like a old school Doom-esque kind of thing. And you're just doing that, and they're showing you the controls and all that kind of shit. And then you go... Then the actual game, it gets into the action real quick. You're getting your first... I'm blanking on the name of the gun. The first talking gun, the one with the Morty voice, right away. And yeah, within the first hour, they were able to kill the first boss, the one they showed off at Keeley showcased over the summer.
Nice.
So
what you think?
I really like it. I really like the vibe, obviously, of it. It's just like very colorful and all that. And you know, I'm a fan of the Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland humor. Like, I know that some of it is similar with Rick and Morty, but there's also can be a big difference of it. Like, it's a fine line between the two, honestly, because it's not just Justin Roiland doing Rick and Morty, involved Rick and Morty writing and all that kind of stuff. But I enjoy it. Obviously, like I enjoy like Accounting Plus, the VR game, and all that, and what little I dip my toe into Trover Saves the Universe.
Like this is definitely a little like another step of ambition.
Oh yes, this was definitely the most ambitious game that they have. Squanch Games has worked on, and based on like, I'm making some news thing, so I'll just say it here. It is the most like successful like third party Game Pass game one launch and the biggest single player launch.
That's surprising. Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah. So I think Game Pass is helping this game big time, and I think it was Justin talking about, oh yeah, this just helps us like people be playing, and the money we got from the Game Pass deal and people playing our game just helps for the next game, which is an interesting way to think about it, because not everyone actually says that. It's like, even if they don't go Game Pass, their next one is like, okay, we got money to help make the next game, and more people will just play our game, so they're just more excited when we do announce that game,
right?
Even if it's on Game Pass or not.
Right, yeah, adds to it for sure. Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, with Justin Roiland and stuff, so at least had that name behind it.
Yes.
But as far as the actual game, like I said, I like this style of humor.
First-person shooter, right?
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. The actual mechanics so far are, fairly simple. I mean, there's not really much going on, but just have the one gun. It has like a little lob bomb thing, but besides that, it's just straight up shooting down sights and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I got the knife that you can use to whip around as well, which is fun.
Okay, so the guns themselves seem like they're wacky, or is it more just the voices are wacky? Like the voices.
It's hard to say because I only have the one gun and the knife.
Oh, okay.
I'm not got far enough to get all the other ones yet.
Gotcha.
But
it definitely seems like you're gonna be like collecting guns that all like talk in different ways or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it sounds like, Darby, I think we had a bet about this. I can't remember where you fell on this. About how many are voiced by Justin Roiland, and I think I saw they're all voiced by different people. All the weapons are.
I think I probably went. My mind right now was going towards the Justin Roiland voices, like everything or close to everything. But gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're gonna have like other well-known people or something.
Yeah. I can't remember. I was trying to remember if I remember hearing about anyone in particular. It'll probably be like one or two are like, oh, it's that guy, even though I can't recall their name.
Nolan North. He's in every Rick and Morty.
Probably one of them is voiced by Nolan North. But also, what's going to be fun listening to this is like the dialogue. It has the kind of Rick and Morty, like. Obviously, when it comes to humor, we're going to compare this like Rick and Morty and stuff and use that as a point of reference. But, me and you, we watch Rick and Morty. We love Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. There's kind of like multiple styles of humor with Rick and Morty, just the absurdity of it. And then sometimes just they use Roiland's voice acting or that kind of voice acting to really like to make the joke a lot of times or whatever. I know I'm having, I'm explaining this well, but it's like if you play some of Squanch Game stuff and watch Rick and Morty, you probably get an idea of where I'm getting at with it. Obviously leans toward to the Justin Roiland, that kind of voice kind of thing. Like there's a kid that's like, trying to antagonize you or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, so you're scared, running away and all that kind of stuff, and then you go down there, and you see his mom, and it's like, thank you for not shooting my son. But also, if you want to go and shoot him, go ahead. He's just annoying, just like his father. So I went to go back and tried to shoot him.
Very outlandish.
Yeah. So I went to try to shoot him, then the gun wouldn't do it. It's like, what the fuck? You're trying to shoot a kid? What's wrong with you? Just stuff like that. It seems like they got a bunch of like situational stuff with the voice thing, which will be fun to kind of play around with.
Okay. Are you like kind of walking through an environment between fights? Or is it just kind of a linear path thing?
So there is like a little hub thing. I don't know. I haven't explored like a crazy amount because I was. My mindset was I'm playing this for an hour, so I didn't spend as much time exploring as I normally would. They have a machine. So you meet this bounty hunter who pretty much homeless. Your home, because you're a human, gets teleported to an alien planet. It's like, oh, that's a nice house you got there. You can have my bounty hunter gear if I can have your home if you die. And of course, he expects you to die right away because you're just some stupid human.
Right.
And then you survive. Like, what the fuck? I thought you were okay. Well, I guess good for you. So he put this like assassination device thing in your home where you accept the bounties. And then it can supposed to be able to teleport you to places. But at least for the first bounty I did, which was the first boss fight, it was malfunctioned. It's like, oh, but luckily they're in this city, so go find them. So I'm curious to see, how like more level structure it's going to be from this point once I kind of get that thing working, or if it's going to be like a bunch of like hub city things right there. Because I like the vibe of the city. Like nothing too crazy, but it's nice and colorful and alien and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like surprisingly good, like the art style.
Yeah,
like,
and I think what will help is
it looked like some budget went to it.
Oh yeah. And I think what helps is looking at it's not like a crazy long game. Like if you're playing it kind of straightforward or whatever, it can be about 10-ish hours. Whereas I think it's a good length for this potentially not overstay its welcome.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I'm fine with the amount of talking and the dialogue and stuff in it, but one of the tutorials is like, hey, you can go in the options and change the frequency of the weapons and enemies talking.
Are the weapons just kind of saying repeating lines like in a cycle over and over, or is it actually like unique things that they're
again, it's just early on so far, so I'm curious what happens when I get more weapons, but it's been a lot of unique dialogue and situational stuff so far. I mean, the closest thing to a repeated line was when I tried to open like a treasure chest I couldn't, like kind of treasure chest or something I couldn't yet. There's like, hey, you can't open that, you need some kind of sharp object, like a knife to open that or something like that. Said a couple variations of that, but besides that, no. I was kind of impressed so far.
To see if, like, when you get to the point where you have a bunch of different guns, I imagine you're, like, choosing what gun you want. So have unique lines for, like, the whole game, depending on which guns you have.
I'm going to be very curious how that's going to go, once we unlock more. And I know they go crazy with the, I guess, references and stuff, which, could be kind of fun and silly to just randomly go upon while I walk around. Because I have seen like 2 clips of stuff, I'll just say here. One talking about like review scores and naming particularly like IGN and Kotaku and stuff in the game. And one referencing Code Lyoko of all fucking things. Like, oh yeah, like Canadian anime or thing, whatever. Code Lyoko, the ones with big foreheads. Not exact dialogue, but get the idea. I was like, what the fuck, Code Lyoko? In the year of our Lord 2022.
Well, I like it. All right,
yep.
You got a lot of games to get to, Jeff.
Yep.
So, my next one.
Immortality.
Been a hotly talked about game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably still pretty niche in the amount of people who've actually played it, but at least I've heard about it.
Yeah. Also, as people will notice as they go through this, these are a lot of very different and not the normal game. High on Life is like the closest thing to what we could, popular kind of game. Yeah.
We respect it.
Yep. Immortality is fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't either, but you've never played an FMV game before, right? So.
I mean, I think I played those kind of things when I was younger. There's a couple of them, but yeah. I'm trying to remember what the name of the games were. This is from... I'm going to just look it up because...
Her Story?
Yes. It's from that team doing that. I don't think... That's not a surprise. So the way this game works... And it's one of those things where I'm not like deep into it because it's only an hour. But it starts like immediately with tutorial stuff like, hey, here's a grid of video scenes or whatever. And they kind of say actress, I think like Marcella is her first name or something like that. Started in only 3 movies and then disappeared. And pretty much, kind of leave it at that to give you the impression like, okay, I guess you're using this stuff to find out what happened to her. So they give you this giant grid of stuff showing you like what you can do as far as like rearranging the pictures and the video footage and all that kind of shit. And then the last thing they say is like, this is how you select one. And you have this giant master grid. So you can move around as much as you want and then select one. And then you select it. And then like if you immediately back out, the grid is now just that one video. So you have access to what I could potentially imagine every video like scene in this game, but you can start from any point. And the main thing you're doing in this game is going through these videos, which are scenes from all 3 of the movies, as well as behind the scenes stuff where they're like doing line reads and that kind of stuff, or behind the scenes stuff, or interviews, anything related to this movie, really, these movies, really. And what you are doing, you're going throughout it, the video stuff, and you can press I'm playing on the Xbox controller, Y, whatever the top button is, to pause it and go into photo mode, and then you can move around like a mouse or whatever, and you'll be able to click on things. And when you click on something like a face or an object, it will zoom in, the thing will change, and you zoom out and it's the same kind of object or the same person in a completely different scene.
Right. So are you like, yeah, so I'm gonna have to just see this game to fully understand.
Yeah,
obviously. I mean, it sounds like my shit. It sounds like this, like like obviously it's completely different, but it almost reminds me of a Return to the Obra Dinn, of you're kind of like getting the story completely out of order and like studying environments to piece together what the hell happened.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that kind of thing, like weird, very artsy thing, but like. So, like, are you spending a lot of times in these scenes looking for something to be able to progress?
Okay.
Are you puzzle solving or something, or just trying to like kind of you're just getting the story through?
I think it a lot. Again, I'm
are you
early
going back and forth between scenes, or are you just kind of like you continuously go to new scenes and like just
because I only did like a little over an hour. It's mainly that I can see it. Maybe you trying to. Because I know there's like a actual ending for this game, so there probably is some searching for things. I don't want to give away too much because there's a cool discovery. I will just say play with a controller.
Yeah. Because
you can play this with a keyboard. It's also on Netflix to play this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works.
I just would have assumed that this was like best, or at least design. I like could definitely work with a mouse and keyboard. I never would have thought to plug a controller in for this game.
Yeah.
Just knowing that it was like an FMV game. I probably never would have had a controller.
People who knows who played this game know why I'm recommending controller. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I believe you. I just never would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is more to it than that, but yeah, it is very interesting, like piecing together like relationships and stuff as with these like the actors and like directors and all that kind of stuff, because you know you're just kind of doing, and sometimes depending on it's like, okay, wait, how much of this is like for the movie or the actual real life personalities? That kind of stuff becomes clear kind of quick, honestly, but at least in the beginning.
But so like when you play, you don't really have like necessarily an in-game objective. You're just kind of hearing the story and bouncing
pretty
around.
Much.
Kind of like, can you go back to scenes you've been in? Adding to the grid or something.
Mm-hmm. You can also favorite them. What you can do on the grid, you can favorite them and then switch to the favorite thing. So I did that early on for a couple things, because some scenes are literally just 2 actors acting. So it's like, okay, well, it's just their faces. I mean, probably if I did certain stuff at certain points, it will take me 2 different places potentially, but that's pretty straightforward or whatever. So I have favorited scenes where they're like a whole bunch of people with a bunch of objects, them doing stuff, because like I was just curious, like, you know, there's a makeout scene at some point, like, okay, what happens if I do it while they're kissing? Zoom out, oh, it's going when someone else is kind of like kissing or whatever. Goes to a similar-ish scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it, but it sounds interesting.
Yes.
It sounds very intriguing.
Yep, especially once you kind of figure out a certain something, you know, kind of adds to the layers to it. It's like, okay.
And before we get out of that one, I know you said that you are immediately understanding why the lady was nominated for performance and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that this is one of those games where if multiple of them were up there, obviously I haven't seen the whole thing, but it's easy to see why, because they are playing their like they are playing actors who are playing characters, but also when they're doing it, they're playing the line reads, and just all the stuff kind of feels like actual. Yeah, they feel like they're actual movies from that time period when they're doing the regular scenes. But then the part when they're showing the scenes, sometimes they'll play the scenes like kind of straightforward, like it's in the movie, but most of them will kind of be like a cut or action at the end, and then at the end they'll go into their actor characters, like, okay, do that again, and stuff like that.
Really cool.
Yeah, the way it's done, it's a very interesting game.
Yeah, I like games that are just, there's nothing quite like.
Yeah,
I've never heard of anything.
Even at the very least, like, I'm very curious how it works on on Netflix, because again, there's a particular reason that I think the controller is the best way to do it. Even on like mouse and keyboard, I'm curious to see like how they work it in that way. Because if they don't have like a good like thing for it, I imagine this game could get frustrating.
Is it on everything?
I can look that up real quick.
Certainly very interesting. I haven't really looked at it. I don't want to look at much.
No, it's just not looking at it. Just kind of.
It seems like it is a very story-centric game.
Yeah, it's on Windows and Xbox right now, and it's coming to Android and iOS and stuff later.
Cool.
Oh, it is on Android and iOS through the Netflix app now.
Was this a Netflix published game?
I
know Netflix.
No, I think Netflix is just taking some games that work like this and just putting it on their platform, since they're going into games a little bit. It's like, why wouldn't this work on Netflix kind of thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
At least so far, I recommend all these games that I'm talking about, but
no, this is probably the one I'm most intrigued by.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm also very, very interested to hear your thoughts on Pentiment.
Yes.
Obsidian game that just came out like 2 months ago.
Something like that.
And has gotten very, very high praise, but obviously it's a lot more niche, so I think we just generally don't hear quite as much about it.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you last night, and yeah, you found it completely believable and everything, that the director of this, who I think it's like the main guy at Obsidian or one of them, was like, oh yeah, we would not have made this game without Game Pass. Right. This game would just have not been pitched.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It does not strike me as a very mass appeal game from the things I've seen.
Especially now, after playing it for a little over an hour. It is like a point and click game. It has like an old, like, I don't know. I don't know if fairy tale is just the right word or whatever, book style thing like that. It's just the art style. No voice acting or any of that. Like, it also makes sense why Microsoft would push this as, or allow this to happen. It's like, yeah, Game Pass needs games, and this is overall probably a pretty cheap game to make. But art style wise, it is very good. Like, it hits what it's trying to do, and the vibe and everything. So this is an RPG.
You say it's point and click, right?
Yeah, point and click, like RPG thing.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like something that's also interesting about these games is that 3 out of 5 of them have no combat, really, which is a nice change of pace.
Sorry, I have to talk on for a second.
Alright. So yeah. It's Obsidian, so it's an RPG, and the way that mainly works, again, I'm early on, and this is, for what I can tell, the actual longest game out of the 5 that I am playing. So I've not really gotten to the hook yet, as the main story hook that's supposed to grab you yet, and I know that. But it's like, okay, there's the general vibe and world of this I am interested in. Like, as far as like the RPG elements of it, as like role playing, you can definitely make choices in here. Like, as far as your tone and everything, it's like, oh, these seem actually pretty different from each other, and you can come off as like a pretty chill, wholesome dude, or you can really come off as an asshole. And there are periodically times where I will pick a decision and they'll be like, this will be remembered.
So it's all mostly making like choices with people, and like
Yeah.
does that like impact the
Narrative and offensive.
yeah?
It's hard to say at
like,
this point because of how early I am. Like I said, I think this one's closer to the 15-hour-ish range of things, so I'm just to see how it builds up. And also something interesting, they give you multiple times, like throughout the early game to set up your background. And there were a couple times where they have symbols for each of the different background things, and when it like is applicable, they had a choice there with a symbol there that says, "Oh, this you can make this decision or say this line of dialogue because you chose this as your background."
yes, yeah, because isn't it like the character creation or whatever, your background or something somewhat expansive, or like we like you
There
can be
is
like
no character creator. Your character is the same, and it is during the dialogue when you're playing the game that you decide it.
Okay.
When you're talking to other characters, like, oh yeah, where did you do your study in college or whatever, and you can choose like Italy or France or some bullshit, and it like affects what languages you know.
So you say any conversation. I'm from Italy.
Yeah. Or you say, yeah, this is where I did the stuff, and it will, yeah, like I said, it gives a description of what this means for you as a character, and yeah, one of them was, oh, because of this, I'm blanking on the main character's name. So and so knows Italian and French or whatever. He can speak Italian and French, and this will affect choices you can make in the game. And some of it was like, one of them was like, what were your hobbies, or what did you do before, or whatever. And I chose ruffian.
Of course,
Like,
of course.
Oh, you were in some brawls and pranks and petty crimes. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, I was. Having fun?
No. Sorry, I have to keep going.
All right.
Might have to pull out like the blue Yeti or something for myself. You are fine. I'm not fine, no matter what I use.
What's the main issue? That is still peaking?
Peaking. It's like. And I have our settings literally the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no difference in our settings. I use different inputs.
You're just cursed.
Yeah.
The curse of being beautiful. Am I right?
Alright. I'll kind of talk a little bit. Just keep going for a little bit. I'll see if I can get this. Starting stuff back to you.
Alrighty. I'm trying to think. What else?
So there's no combat in this, right?
Nope. Maybe a choice actually I might make it a street ball since I chose a ruffian, but yeah, it's not. It is a very point and click that you are walking around, but it's not like you moving around. You have like lines you can go of, that kind of thing. Like you follow the road, and like when you're in a building, you can go, left and right, and then go up and down to go through doors and that kind of bullshit. Very simple. And there are a lot of characters you can talk to in all.
And all 2D, correct?
Yes. And it's actually the way it's done is you're in a storybook, so like when you're going to a new place, they like show someone turning a page. Also, what's kind of fun, you can
keep going.
Okay. Change like the way you want the dialogue shown. You can make it in fancy writing, or like, hey, if you have trouble reading this, you can just make it very simple. Like, no, fuck, I'm going in hard mode. Give me the fancy writing. We're doing this right. Yeah.
So, do you think it's something that I would enjoy? Who would you recommend it to?
I think based on what I play now, I think there's, and I kind of know like what kind of game this is supposed to be. and I just haven't got to the point where he kind of turned leg yet. But it doesn't partly be going off the reviews and people saying, "No, this game's great." I do think this could be a style of game you'd really like. Making the choice and all that, and depending on where they go with what I know it's going to be, I can see this can be something like you and Ginny like. This could be another like Return to Oberdin thing kind of thing. You guys could maybe enjoy.
Nice. Yeah. And how long did you say it was?
I think I saw it was like 15 hours. It's definitely the longest out of these for sure. Which is why compared to these, I haven't gotten it going as much because I'm just in the early setup kind of period. How's that mic sounding?
Okay. It's okay. You're a little doubled because of this, but at least it's not complete audio cancer. Not ideal.
So yeah, Darby, we're 3 out of 5 of the way through. Not really much more I can say about Pentiment unless you have any questions about it.
That's good.
So what are your interest levels for the games I've had so far?
That's a lot. I guess I didn't really get to hear that one as much as I would like to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, I think Immortality sounds very much like it could really be my shit because I just love those weirdly told narratives. I'm just like a sucker for that shit. It kind of reminds me of a Redin and just piecing together a story like that. But I mean, Pentiment, I'm definitely interested in too because it seems like it has some of those like cool RPG elements of like, or like choosing options, doing all this, but it's like maybe not necessarily like super crunchy, like difficult. It's not like you're have a stat sheet or like that kind of stuff.
You don't have to worry about all that. It's just the dialogue part of an RPG. And
can you fail, or is it kind of like you just like you made decisions, live with your decisions, and keep going?
Kind of that. Also, I'm not 100% sure. I got confused by names and stuff, but there is a chance I said yes to 2 different parties to have dinner with them that night.
2 different parties? What now? I'm sorry.
I might have said the 2 different individual parties that I'd have dinner with them. So we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, scandalous.
I can definitely see. I feel like this is one of those games that in a way benefits having no voice acting, just because then it's easier for them to go crazy with the dialogue, like branching and all that kind of stuff. I can already kind of see with this game, like where it could go crazy, like as far as how your dialogue choices matter and all that.
Okay, so I'm gonna do an awful thing. I'm gonna unmute this whenever I need to talk and mute it whenever you talk. I'm gonna at least try. Oh boy, okay, we got a podcast going, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy,
Okay, I'm doing a lot of talking.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the next one. Tinykin. There's not one thing, it's another.
There's another. I mean, as long as they can hear us. As long as they can hear us, I don't care a whole lot. It seems like they can. So anyway, you continue on, Jeffrey. Tinykin.
Tinykin. Nice little jolly 3D platformer. And Darby, what's kind of nice and jolly about this is that I mentioned that the 5 games have no combat. At least so far, this has no combat. You're just going around like doing puzzles and exploring the world.
We are doing violence is overrated. We're doing
pacifist around.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So talk about you're good. You're good.
Okay. Where should I start? But yeah, it's game really jolly. I really immediately part of the reason I was interested in this game with the trailers was like the art style and all that. I really like the vibe they have with the flat 2D characters with the big actually 3D like house you're going there. I love the design. I like what they're doing with the normal house things, the like dressers and all that kind of stuff, and using plants to jump off like on pianos and all that kind of stuff. And I can already tell the way they have it set up in the hub world. Like, they're like, I think about 5 worlds, 5 world/levels, and they're different rooms of the house. Like, one of them is obviously going to be the kitchen, and one's obviously going to be the bathroom. I was kind of like in a more living room-ish area for the first one, and I completed the first level of this game. This game doesn't seem to be a very long game at all. I think I saw like 6-7 hours.
So all platforming type of thing. But so it's a full 3D platformer despite being in 2D. Like it plays Mario.
A kind of new thing for indie games. I'm sure, you haven't seen as much. Do you remember Demon's Turf? Or have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the same thing. There are multiple other games like that. It seems to be something that people are kind of doing now to kind of help with the, hey, it's a lower budget game and we can make pretty good environments. The character model is obviously going to suffer, so let's make it like a 2D image thing that looks good and works.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It definitely looks different. I like it. Yeah.
And of course, star of these games are the little Tinykins themselves, the little Pikmin-esque creatures. And they are nice and jolly. I've only gotten 2 types of them. I think there are 5, so I imagine the way it's really gonna work is each world I get introduced to a new one, and they have different functions and all that, like Pikmin.
One of these ways is where I don't really remember which one. But the actual mechanics of it feel good and everything.
Oh yeah, jumping around feels good. Nothing too crazy. It's just kind of, you're going around talking to these characters and doing the tasks you need them to do. Like the main thing for the first one is to get like the CD player going so you can spread the word of the bug's god across the room. And I guess is that the singer of a band or whatever is kind of their god or whatever. And they have like a little cult. They had like a little church where they're all nothing like too dark, but it's kind of cute. And you go around, and what's fun about this is I don't know if you remember this from like trailers and videos from this, but there's like a guitar, and you go into the guitar, and there's like a restaurant like bar in there, and there's a whole bunch of stuff like that where you go into things, and the creatures of this place have
keep talking.
Made it have made like different businesses and homes and all that kind of stuff, and it's all very cute and all that. Is there any reason for me to actually be talking into this mic like I am?
Huh?
Yeah. Actually,
yeah, we're just using this now.
Okay.
Sorry. It doesn't sound awful. But keep talking so I can make sure it doesn't sound awful, and then I'm gonna let it go.
Alrighty. But yeah, very jolly. The way that it's kind of structured, you have like one main quest that it seems to be that you can do during the level, and for the most part, it might rely on how many you might need to complete it. You obviously got to do some puzzle solving or whatever to get to your goal, but you also need to collect the amount of Tinykins, and you don't. And each like room / level in the place has its own set of Tinykins, because they're like, Tinykins are too scared to go into another room. So every time you go into a level, you got to recollect Tinykins.
Is that not annoying?
No. You quit, like, they're all over the place. Like, you look at the thing for, you can use the pause menu and look to see, like, how many are in each level, and there's like 200 something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's partly because the ones you get in the first main level, the 2 I got so far is the little purple Tinykin, which are just strong as fuck. And they just, they lift things, push things, yada, yada, yada. You basic shit. Then you get the red ones that blow up. They self-destruct. And once you use them, they're gone. They die.
Huh. Interesting.
So that's why they need to have so many so you can replenish them. But something I'm very curious about, whenever there's like soft lock you out of potentially finishing like everything a level has to offer. Because it seems like they set up the amount of red ones, at least in this first level, that you have just about enough to do all the tasks that are in the level. And I wonder, I haven't tried it because I didn't want this to happen to me. Like, if I throw a red Tinykin at something that doesn't explode, does it explode and just disappear and I'm just shit out of luck? Because when you aim at something that, and they make it clear, they have like anything that can be interactive with a Tinykin has like a faint glow of the color of Tinykin they are, so you know that, hey, you can move this with a purple one. Or, hey, you can blow this up with a red one.
Okay, so are all your abilities basically tied to the different Tinykins?
The other thing, you have like a little glide thing that a little bubble pops out, and you use it to glide, and you can do stuff to get more bubbles on that so you can glide longer, which is pretty neat. Main part of the game, going around doing the tasks that these bugs want you to do. Like, one thing was I had to help a mama and find her child that got stuck in a piano.
Hey, it happens to all of us.
Yeah. Now it's kind of, again, fun to see like what kind of civilization these bugs have made in this house. It's also very interesting because the setup for the game that they show in like the first 2 seconds is that obviously you're like a human boy, but you start on an alien planet. And he's like, we're human. And after studies, I have found, or people have found, we humans are not from this planet. We have a place we came from. So he found Earth and teleported himself there to learn more about it. And then he gets there and he's like really small. So I'm like, are they going to go into that at all? Because this guy hasn't really talked really since the beginning.
That's a wild premise for I like a pretty low story thing.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah.
So he's not from Earth.
No. He seems to be human, but not originally from Earth.
Very, very interesting.
Indeed.
All right, well. Next, I suppose.
Next one. So Tinykin, really good, especially if you want low stakes, kind of fun, jolly platformer vibes. Yeah. With cute little munchkins following you around in mass.
Nice.
Well, also, if you like a bunch of things on your screen in mass, you're going to love Vampire Survivors.
Oh, yeah. We do have very different types of games here, and I love it.
Yeah. Darby, how much do you actually know about this game?
Very little. I've seen a few clips or whatever, so I've seen the chaos on the screen, but I don't really
so
know
this is one of those things where I just kind of saw that too. I'm like, I'm kind of surprised it's taken off. Then I get into the game and see everything that's actually involved and exactly what the game is, and I'm like, I get it. I get why.
Okay.
Well, part of me is still like, I'm surprised this has kind of taken off like it kind of has, and people are holding it up as like necessarily a GOTY contender as much, like as in mass as it seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I get why people like it as much as they do.
Okay.
And I'm also really liking it when I played.
Okay.
So as far as what the actual game is, when you're actually playing the game, literally all you do is move around. That's it. You move around. That's the only thing you gotta do when you're game, besides like when you level up, click what your item you're going to get is, or level up an item. You level up frequently, Darby.
You level up what?
You level up pretty frequently.
Okay.
Because it is a roguelike, so every time you start a game over again, obviously you start at level 1 and then you build up experience. And the way that works is when you kill, not every single enemy drops one, but a lot of enemies will drop experience gems. And you actually have to get near them to pick it up. So it kind of can be interesting. This happened to me a couple times where I just killed a bunch of people that were kind of far away from me and people were coming towards me. So I had to run away from the experience gems, but then like at some point I circled back around or ran back to that area and there were just loads of them, like, huddled up, so I got them all and, like, leveled up, like, twice very fast.
So it's just complete frantic chaos, sprinting at all times, basically.
A lot of yeah, that is the way to break it down, but as far as, like, why I can see why this game is so addicting to people, is the way that you, like, unlockables and stuff work. Because in the world, like, you're obviously trying to last longer and all that kind of stuff, and you can immediately go and look at the unlockable thing, like, on the main menu, and it shows, hey, look at all these characters you can unlock. Hey, look at all these new items you can unlock. Hey, look at these levels you unlock, and it tells you how you do it. So that's kind of the draw of it, is kind of like, okay, you can constantly be shooting for these goals to do these get these characters, get these new maps, and all that kind of stuff. Because, like, for maps, it's get to level 20 in the first level. Reach your character to level 20 in this level. And the next one's like reach level 40 in the second level we've unlocked. And that's, I guess, the main progression of the game. As far as what I guess accounts to beating it.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as, like, the weapons you get and everything, you start with very few, which I think is nice to kind of ease you into it as far as, like, what all this stuff do. But when you level up, you get a selection of 3 other weapons you can choose to add on to your arsenal. You don't replace, you just add.
Okay.
And sometimes one of the options is leveling up an item you already have. And what the level up does, what leveling up does for the weapon depends on what the weapon is and what level the weapon is at that point. Because it could be like you have a magic wand that shoots a blast at the closest enemy. Like when you level to level 2, it's like, oh, you get a second blast. And then another level is, oh, it's 10% stronger. Also, it moves 20% faster. And that just adds on, and like an axe or something, or whip you get, it's like the level up is, oh, you get to pretty much 2 whips, so it hits on both sides of you now.
Okay, so it's sorry, I did miss some of the beginning. So I mean, is it kind of like roguelike, like you die and you lose your things and you
so you got to start over, but you get the progression of if you complete these tasks or whatever. Some of it is like survive this long with this character, then you get this, and that kind of stuff. Like, you can look and it lays it all out for you, and then you unlock, new weapons that could potentially be in your pool of stuff you can randomly get, or characters you can choose from.
Right. The loop is like, I'm going to do a run.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the characters themselves, the importance of them is the starting weapon you get, which with the little I've technically played, I can tell makes a difference. Because there are some weapons that are very good early weapons. There's like this one, it's like a weird, I don't even know how way to describe it. It's, I'm just going to say it's like a shuriken, and it's not. When it like shoots out in like a random direction, and it'll like bounce off like the side of the screen and go back and hit a bunch of enemies. Like some like projectiles and stuff, like once they hit someone, they'll just stop and only hit one person. But this one just like goes through them. And early on, it sucks because there are very few enemies on the screen. So it's hitting someone, but not really doing like a crazy amount of damage. So not killing them. It's only like one at a time.
Yeah.
But then later on, when there are a bunch of enemies on screen and you get it faster, and potentially even 2 of them, it is racking up damage and kills and all that kind of stuff, depending on how you build up your character and all that, especially in combination with other stuff you pick up.
You sound excited talking about this game.
Oh, yeah. It's really it's fun. And also, each character has an ability as well. Like, one of the main character, the first one you have, it's like every 10 levels, your strength goes up like 10% or something. And it has a max cap on that, as far as like what it does. One character I'm about to unlock, I'm curious to see if it's overpowered to the sounds. It's like you get weapon +1. The way it makes it sounds like his weapon is a dagger, so it makes it sound like you shoot 2 daggers at once. So like when I level it up and you would normally get a second dagger, like, oh, so you get 3 daggers. Like, oh, that sounds crazy.
So does this have a traditional ending?
I have no idea. As far as I can tell, there's no story. I did look at some stuff because I was just kind of curious about how the structure things. It sounds like they might be like I know I've seen the things how to unlock the levels, which I guess might be like a way that some people are counting finishing it. Because it seemed like I think I might be wrong on the exact level, but it's like I said, 20 gets level 20 in the first one to unlock the second level, and then 40 in the second level to unlock the third. So it might be like I think there might be 5 maps or whatever. So they might count finishing like getting to level 100 in the 5th level or something like that, because it seems to go. I think it goes up by incremental amounts.
Okay.
What level you need to get to unlock the next one. I also think I saw there were like secret bosses or some bullshit, so I have no idea how that works. There's a lot to this game, and I can see why like it's coming to iOS and stuff soon. I think that was an announcement at the Game Awards. I was kind of like, huh, that sounds weird because I didn't know much about the game. Now playing, it's like, oh, that's a perfect phone game because literally all you are is moving around.
Yeah. Mechanically very simple. Like
it's just like a very simple arcadey version of a Muso, which obviously I like. So seeing a bunch of enemies on screen dying with all those numbers is very satisfying to me.
Oh shoot! Just Jeff finding another way to be Muso stan.
Yep. No, I get why people really like this game, and yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it some more. I can definitely see, because it's not a traditional thing, like as far as ending. This feels like, to me, out of the 5 games I have here, the one I'm most likely to kind of put to the side and not play for a while.
That's what I was about to ask, is like, do you see yourself like coming back to this? Because it doesn't necessarily, it sounds like one of those kind of jump in, jump out, bite-sized thing that I just don't really see you play very much, mostly because you have so many single-player RPGs.
Honestly, like, real talk, it might be not a bad idea for me to wait, and especially as I have all this other stuff to play, wait until the phone version comes out. Because I can see that be something I just picking away at every now and then, and that's how I play the game.
Yeah. So you think it really wouldn't be annoying to control on the phone?
No, I'm curious to see how they do it. I can see it being annoying if it's like it's literally like you're putting your finger and like moving it side to side. Because I know like some stuff do, like you have like a joystick at the side, and the way the game works, it can take out like some of your screen, and you just kind of have that at the side, and that can count. And so, it kind of depends how they implement it, but I can see why it would work very well.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my 5 games, and
I'm gonna do one last test here, and then give up on it.
Should I be talking?
No. Now talk.
I am talking. That looks like peeking to me.
Yeah, it probably is. Hello, Blue Yeti. Continue, Joker.
I mean, that's all my games. A lot of very good stuff. Like, also, I will say this. I'm really happy I did this, even because obviously I want to try out these games, but I think this was a good reminder for me of just in general, from a money standpoint and probably maybe even an enjoyment standpoint, I need to be looking at Game Pass more and using that to play like some of these smaller games for sure.
Yeah.
Because hey, there are more I can play. These are 5 games, really great games that I can play, and yeah, from a money standpoint, it's like I got a bunch of games right there I can play, so I probably need to focus on that more than I do.
Right. Yeah.
And this is a very good reminder of that. It's like, yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I mean, all 5 of those I am interested in. You made them sound very cool in very different ways. Especially, I think Immortality is still the one I'm the most interested in. Probably
I feel like for
followed
you,
by Pentiment.
yeah, I think those are the two most likely ones for you, and then the varying degree the other ones. Like, I feel like you would. I think Tinykin would be one you would get some enjoyment out of. I think it also helps that it looks like to be very short, so you get some jolly vibes for a bit, and same for me, and then it'd be done.
Yeah.
Not a long.
And Higher Life seems like it could be fun.
Higher Life is one of those things that's hard to do. Like, even though you like Rick and Morty and stuff, because it's kind of Rick and Morty-ish humor, but kind of different, and it's a lot of all in your face at once. Like, I get why people would not be down with it.
Yeah.
Because at least from a gameplay standpoint, it's pretty simple. It's satisfying, and so
that's the thing that would scare me the most, or that would turn me off the most, is potentially if the gameplay just doesn't seem super interesting to me. Yeah, but definitely Immortality and Pentiment. Yeah. I would definitely am interested in both of those. Cool.
Yep.
Well, briefly, one other game talk that actually I have. Don't really have a whole lot to say about it here because I have not played a ton. But I picked up Citizen Sleeper.
Also, a Game Pass was considering doing for this.
Also, apparently, I did.
Since you were doing it, I was like, okay, I won't do this one.
Yes. But this would be another one that kind of fits in some of the vein of these, of just like kind of weird indie-ish games or whatever. Right? It's like, no combat, things like that. This is like a pretty much purely text-based game. Like, you're looking at like kind of a spaceship thing with some like hand-drawn sprite things or like, models or whatever and some pictures, but like it is 99% text and text choices and everything. And you are basically, I'm very early on, but you are this like person. It's definitely in like a post-apocalyptic, or not post, it's in a very future kind of dystopian type of setting, and you are someone who was like, basically you are an android that was like made by like a corporation basically, and like I think you used to be a person, but now you've like put your consciousness into a android basically, and you are kind of the property of this corporation. So there's like, even though you're an android, you're not technically a person. There's like things you've kind of like escaped or like left. Yeah, I think you basically escaped. I think they're still after you. The corporation's after you. So you have like, there's like fluid or like certain things in your body that it's like basically this like injection thing made by this corporation. It's like Jeff Bezos special juice. It's like, and you got to put Jeff Bezos special juice into your veins every like 2 days or your body's going to die because they designed you to need this. So if anyone were to hire you to work on something,
capitalism,
they would have to, yes, they would have to buy Jeff Bezos special juice to keep you alive. The whole game is, hey, capitalism sucks, right? That's basically what the whole game says. So it's all like choices and everything. You're on this like mining colony ship thing. And it's all like, you are making choices. You have limited amount of resources and things to do in the day, so you're deciding where to put them. And it's already, at the very beginning, it's like you can already see where it's like, okay, I need to mine. I need to help this guy with this mining thing because I need money to do anything. And this guy, I really like him. He seems like a good guy. And apparently he's in super big debt and they're going to come and fucking kill him if he doesn't make enough money. So you're like, you can already tell that the game is trying to pull at your heartstrings for him. But then there's also a bunch of other important shit going on. So you're like, I know I'm going to fall in the trap of being too kind to this old man. And I'm going to get myself killed over here. So the tension is very cool of like where to put your resources, where to do things. And I think it is one of those games that you don't really fail. It's just like,
just keeps on going.
You're gonna like make poor decisions, good decisions. It's got like, I think it really is truly one of those games where like there's not a golden path. It's like it's gonna be good and bad no matter what you do. It's like gonna be a mix.
When it was starting, I was like, yeah, it sounds like this is just Pentiment, but in future instead of like the 1500s.
Probably. Yes. Yeah. But it is kind of cool. There is some randomness in it in kind of a fun way though. Every day there's like cycles, like you do things and then you go to bed and you get up, do things, go to bed. And there's several story events. You can tell like such and such thing is going to happen in like 5 cycles, like 5 days or whatever. So it's like ticking down, getting like ready towards that thing happening. And every day you are given dice. It's like dice at the top thing. And it'll be like if you get it's like the 5 and 6 dice is like 100% success. So if you use that dice towards any action you can do, you're 100% guaranteed it's going to work out. It's going to be good. Then if it's like 3 and 4, it's like 50% or like 25% chance success. Like, or it's like 25% chance success, like 50% chance, or whatever. It's like a different chance. There's like a chance success, chance neutral, chance failure. And so the failure could like you lose resources or something if you get it. Neutral is kind of like whatever, and then like
kind of about even.
Right. And then like the lower 2 dice or whatever is like complete 50-50. It's like 50% failure, 50% like neutral, I think. So it's a lot of like how not only do you have to decide like what's the important things to do versus not do, it's which ones do I need to make sure this goes well and which ones do I not.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of choices, and like you have to accept that it's like, okay, I'm gonna fuck up sometimes, you know. It's like, and the money, I've always been like right in the razor's edge of like having enough money to do whatever I need to do to survive and everything. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool backdrop, like gameplay backdrop for this kind of story, like story choice type thing. When it comes to that, and I'm still in the tutorial section, so like I know it's gonna get crazy here.
Oh, yeah.
And you have like in-game stats or whatever that help you. Like you can have, there's like 3 different classes at the beginning, and the classes are really just like a +1 in like one of 3 different stats. And I think that makes it like you get more resources for that thing. So I picked like a machinist or something. So like I'm really good with machines or whatever on the ship. You could also be like a cybernetic person or something, like be good with computers. And then another person is like a physical, like you can intimidate people or stuff like that, like that kind of thing. So really, that's basically all I got. It's pretty basic so far. As far as what I know, I'm pretty like early in on it, but it's I think the mechanics are like really, really, I think will serve it to make these choices very interesting. And the narrative backdrop, it's definitely sad and dark, but it's not like, and there's a lot of text, but I wouldn't say it's overbearing. It's like if sometimes I get kind of tired of these games when I have to read and read and read and read and read. I think it kind of gets to the point here. It's snappier than, it's a lot of reading, but I think it's fairly snappy overall. So yeah, I think it's cool. I'm excited. Obviously, I'll see how I feel about the whole thing. I think it's like
no, I just looked at that. I was curious.
7 hours, something like that.
Or it's like 6 for main story, 9 plus extras.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, not long at all.
I feel like I'm, at least right now, I'm going through the cycles pretty quickly, but that might get more. There might be more going on later. But right now, I'm just like, do this, do that, do that. I'm out of resources. Okay, sleep. It's like pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Darby. We talked about all these 2022 games. Now it's time to look towards the future of gaming.
Yes.
2023.
2022 is dead.
Yep. So the way this works, it's a more awkward thing when it's the very beginning of the year, but fuck it. This is the way we've done it for 5 years. We ain't changing shit now. I'm set in my ways. We look through the first half of the year of what's confirmed, which honestly not the longest list, I think, compared to some past, half years. So expect we'll probably get some announcements coming soon, but then we will talk about our most anticipated games of 2023. Will I have another repeat? I don't know. For people who don't know, we've done this 5 times already, and I've had 3 games. and never, ever, the first time have I picked a game has it come out the year.
Really?
No, because it's been 2 years 2 years Psychonauts, 2 years Kingdom Hearts 3, 2 years Psychonauts 2. Last year was now Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. We'll be there again. We'll see. So, you better fucking hope that next year, I'm not anticipating your favorite game.
Both of us did it this time. Okay, I imagine
True.
Breath of the...
No, but I'm cursed. Yours is just a coincidence.
Yeah, I haven't done it 3 times, you're right. Yeah.
I have my taste. Alright, let's get to that first half of the year, Darby. And what we do here for people who are not in the know is, we go for the game, say the release date, yada, yada, yada. We talk about if we're interested in them, how we think they're going to be, how they think they're going to do, like, sales-wise, and all kind of stuff. Whatever we want to talk about with these.
Yeah. All right, last thing, I tried to, like, fall. I think I tried that before, so please talk into that one.
I am now talking.
I think that might be okay.
We did it, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
All right. Usual way to continue.
I think we're okay.
Let's go.
All right. 2023.
Yay! All right, first game.
First game.
One Piece Odyssey,
One Piece Odyssey,
January
Jeff.
13th. It's happening. It's about to come out. It looking pretty damn good. Darby, I'm having faith in this game. That's scary.
Hope.
Hope.
This house.
In this economy? Yep. Who don't know, this is pretty much One Piece Dragon Quest. And it looked good. It's being made by a Dragon Quest 11 support studio. And it shows.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, everything they have announced, and what makes me feel better about my feelings is our friend Alex, who doesn't really play RPGs in general, is also, jaded by anime games that are not Dragon Ball Fighters.
Right, please don't.
I mean, is also about as excited as I am.
And he never plays single player
I know.
games either. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really
No, so the reasons to be excited for this game as a One Piece fan is, well, obviously, I'm a fan of JRPGs. I love me some turn-based combat. Based on what we saw, it looks like they're doing some interesting things with it. I have no reason to believe it's going to necessarily be bad at this point in time. That's the main fear right now. But the reason I'm excited is, you go into world or memories that are past arcs, and it looks like they're doing some fun things with that. They just announced 2 new ones, the Marineford and Dressrosa arcs. And I don't know if you remember when I did my presentation of arcs I want in there.
your slideshow.
Yeah.
Well, the Jeff patented slideshow.
Marineford was one of them. And I thought it was gonna, I was presented more like maybe a boss rush mode or whatever. But in here, it seems to be explorable. There's a town that's like only really shown in a couple, not really much, just like had one very important scene, but they confirmed recently, hey, this town that's important to the story, but is not really explored. And you can explore it. Go ham. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
So they're having fun with it.
Yeah, they're having fun with it. And they announced also in the last trailer that you're going to have guest party members in your on your team during some of these arcs.
Nice. That you can't control, I imagine, but there's
they haven't said, so I'm not sure if they're like ones we can actually control what they're doing, or they're just like, whatever 4th, 5th, whatever party member on the side that does their own thing when it's their turn.
Nice.
Games have done either way, so I'm not going to be surprised at either one. I'm hoping controllable because that'd be more fun, but
yeah, it would be. But
yeah,
it's a way of getting more characters in there, I imagine. So
yep. Next game, Darby. I know one you're excited about. Fire Emblem Engage.
It's time
You're
to
engaged with Engage.
Yeah, nah, I have zero interest. I hate to say it.
Sag.
I'm sorry. It's
we'll see where it lands on my anticipated list.
I'm interested in where you are, 'cause I feel like you and everyone else. I just feel like it's the next game after 3 Houses, and I don't really feel like I've heard people talk about it in the way that I would expect.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Loved that game,
I can't even put words to it. That I'm just not as excited for this as I have been for the past couple Fire Emblem games. And I'm not even one of those people that were disappointed by Three Houses. I love Three Houses.
There's very few of those people. I'm in the vast minority.
Yeah, I can't even put words to it. I don't even know. Maybe it's a mixture of things. Like designs aren't completely striking me or whatever. I kind of like what they did to make it, with some of the old characters and stuff. Like I know some people may not care for this because of the use of old characters and all that. I like that shit. I like what they're kind of doing. That sounds fun. As far as how they're implementing the old characters. And
are they actually in the story, or they
yes.
you can use them? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It sounds like they are just using 12 of them, at least for the main story. So I think they're all involved in the main story.
Gotcha.
DLC ones they're adding, like they have literally all 3 of the house leaders as one fucking ring, and then Tiki as a DLC ring. So yeah, those are probably going to be, whatever.
And it does or does not have the social shit from.
Oh, it does. You got a place where you're moving around and stuff like the monastery.
Yeah, I figured it would. But,
yeah. And you can raise animals and shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why. I'm just, whatever reason, my interest has not been, I don't know, high for this in particular.
Fire Emblem has to prove for me to get back in. I don't even know how I would trust the proving, because everyone loved the 3 houses and I didn't. It's just the strategy was just dull.
I do feel like even if people love this, like 3 houses, you can at least still hear the stuff, because there are even people that really like 3 houses that would, and I'm one of them, that would agree. Yeah, the actual strategy gameplay was not the strongest. Like, obviously, at least, me and you have not played all the Fire Emblems. No. But Radiant Dawn above them all.
The very top.
We preach.
We stand.
The word of Ike.
Word of Ike is strong.
Yep. So
in this house.
Yeah. I think it might be just character design and kind of tone. It's like, yes, Fire Emblem has kind of delved into that kind of stuff before, but this seems to be taking it up a notch in a way I may not be completely feeling.
It's just this is not like. This is not a well-formed thought or idea or whatever, but it's like I get the vibe, and just Fire Emblem in some ways from Awakening onwards. It's somewhat during the Fire Emblem is a popular franchise now arc, Awakening on. It just kind of feels like Fire Emblem is getting Disney-ified. That's not even, again, walk with me. It's like,
I'm walking with you hand in hand. We're holding hands very tightly.
It feels like it's just kind of becoming like almost just a packaged thing. It's just like it's inoffensive, but it's also doesn't do anything crazy. It's just kind of like it's popular now, so we're like catering to, it's just kind of dull. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's nothing necessarily all bad about it.
I can get it from a gameplay standpoint.
Like I don't know. It doesn't punch you in the mouth. There's nothing it does. Wow, it's just kind of like.
Well, I will say, like, as far as I don't know, this may not be exactly what you mean, but like at least with 3 houses, I think there was some ambition there with the 3 different storylines and how that stuff works and all that. Obviously, it probably hurt gameplay to a point, but at least the idea of it was fine. I think I may have thought about this before and then forgot about it and just remembering it again, maybe my issue. I can't remember. Someone brought this up on, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or a forum, or it was maybe even like Easy Allies or someone I listened to. It feels like engage in multiple ways from bringing back the old characters, which again, generally I'm fine with, and with the character designs, are trying to appeal to the Fire Emblem Heroes fans.
Yeah.
With the gotcha stuff, because these characters are more colorful and popping and all that kind of stuff, which Fire Emblem characters have done to varying degrees depending on the game and all that kind of stuff. But this seems to take it to the next degree where it's like, okay, you can see more with some of these characters they've shown where you can make them into a bikini, all these fancy outfits, and to sell for heroes. Especially originally, Nintendo said that, and they still say this, they make their mobile games to sell the main product. But I can see Fire Emblem being one of those things where it's kind of a both kind of scenario where they each kind of go to prop the other one up at this point. Because Fire Emblem is popular, but not their most popular franchise. And Fire Emblem Heroes is their most popular mobile game by a fair margin.
And they've tried several others.
Yes.
And it's like, even the Mario one.
Like, you look at Mario Kart Tour. I love the way they're using the mobile stuff to put the tracks into the regular game. But there is no contest between which one of those two is more popular.
Right. Which is wild.
Yeah.
It's a wild thing.
Yeah.
It's a Mario Kart. Yeah. I just like, I can't help but feel like, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, so this can be it. But I feel like every Fire Emblem kind of since Awakening or whatever, or kind of more starting with Fates and stuff, I feel like every game has a weird gimmick. Whether it's we're doing the two different versions with the two storylines, or we're doing the three
one's easy and one's harder.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that kind of weird stuff or whatever. And this with the old characters, I'm like, they all have weird gimmicks, but then the actual strategy, the actual game you're playing, just doesn't really seem to be changing or evolving in a way I would like. I'm like, I just can't help but be like, quit wasting all your brain power on what different weird type of gimmick can we put in this thing to like freshen it up and just make the actual game better, you know? Like that's just how I feel about it at this point. It's like you're sprucing it up in the wrong ways. You're putting glitter on it when it's like no, just actually change the bones of it. You know, it's like.
And also, I think part of my thing about it feeling lower, like me not being excited, is Marvel Midnight Suns come out and is also very good and just different, and I really like what it's doing, and it seems to do it very well. Like
going fishing with Blade, yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, especially since Engage is so close, my mind is like, if I'm gonna get a strategy game soon,
yes,
I feel like I should get Midnight Suns.
yeah. Me and you both arrive at the same point in this. Just obviously, I'm more negative about overall that Fire.
Like Engage is one I probably will want to play at some point in time, but it is more getting pushed back. So
you ain't even played Mario plus Rabbids yet. The strategy game is a pile.
Oh no, I am playing it. I have continued
but you
to play.
haven't beat it.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
That's okay. Okay.
No, I've been playing it.
You have to beat
it's
that.
been aside. It has still been continued being played.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like with Xenoblade. At some point, I'm just not bringing it up on here.
No, fair.
Yeah. But I am pretty close to being done with that.
Oh, wait. Yeah, why didn't you bring Xenoblade up here? You beat
because we had so much other shit.
Fair.
And honestly, it's kind of, I don't have like a crazy amount to add, so I'm probably going to just end up repeating the same stuff on our year-end stuff.
That's fine.
So
that works.
Yeah. Oh, but I will say, loved it. Forspoken, January 24th.
Nail polish DLC.
Yep. Yeah, this game kind of fall off hard for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't get to play that. I haven't even seen that many reviews. But like, I always thought there was a chance this game. There was things about it that I didn't feel super confident in. I just I generally like the vibe, but yeah, I'm feeling less confident.
I said it when I talked about my impressions of the demo. I can see the game still being very good. I think regardless, the demo is trash. Like, it's bad because the game is just not that good, or it just does a poor job at selling you on the game that's actually good. Like, explaining what things are doing and why this game is fun.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
So, I'm already projecting it now. Like, I still don't know how it's going to review on everything. I'm now leaning towards probably like in the 70 score range on OpenCritic and shit. I don't expect this to sell particularly great. No. It's going to be in the long line of Square disappointments as far as like how Square's expectations.
I think this is a higher budget Square disappointment.
Yes. Square's going to be.
This is probably closer to the Avengers type of.
I mean, this is a game that even if it was received well and like sold well to our standards, it was going to disappoint Square. I'm really thinking this is going to disappoint Square. They're going to sell off half their Japan division.
They were saying some lofty ass shit about this. I was like, yeah.
They're going to be disappointed. I hate it for them, but Dead Space Remake, January 27th. I'm ready for this one.
Yeah.
Especially after Callisto. I didn't play Callisto Protocol, but all the disappointing things like, okay,
well, fine. You're the savior. Your limelight is here.
Yeah, I have no reason to doubt this one necessarily.
No,
it's more of, is it because of how lauded the first one, like how beloved the original one is, it's like, okay, at most it's probably like, okay, this isn't like a remake per se. I mean, they didn't change enough for
the worst
something.
thing it'll be is like it's just a pretty version of the old game, which is fine,
especially
you know,
since I have not played it.
Right, exactly. Even if this was just a port, I would have been like, hey Jeff, go play this, you know. Yeah. So this is just even better, better.
But it sounds like they, based on, it's kind of one of those weird things where in a big settings, what we normally expect for marketing for these kind of AAA games, not much at all.
I was about to say, this is 1 month away, like,
and it has gone gold, if I'm not mistaken.
And we really have not seen.
But
much.
they've done a bunch of like developer things, like the kind of shit I wish more developers did. But as we talked about, I do not blame them because of fans. The way they nitpick unfinished things, I get why they normally don't do
odd
this.
that we've gotten those dev things, but we haven't even really gotten like a trailer, like a big trailer, you know.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked it was not the Game
like
Awards.
It's close. It's like
it's a month tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I would like. I think it's time to drop a trailer, y'all. You know, I think it's time to start hyping this up a little bit. You know?
But it sounds like they are doing some stuff to change it to like I can't remember what they said, but I remember thinking like, okay, yeah, they're doing this kind of right as far as changing things up, and you know,
I'm excited. I think it's gonna hold up well. I obviously haven't played it since the first one came out, but I think it's gonna hold up well. It's just it's one of my favorite. You know me, I don't get into a ton of survival horror things like that. It's definitely like up at the top for me. Like it's like, you know, yes.
SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake, January 31st. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I got to pre-order.
You got to pre-order. That's how excited you are. This is basically...
Well, also because there's a price there and it was on sale for $20, but you know,
hey,
I'll take it.
No guide.
Now I'm excited for this. I rewatched the trailer or two for it last night just to see, and it's like, yep, this is the battle for a Bikini Bottom sequel / spiritual successor, and it's obviously low budge and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're selling it for $40, so they had that mindset too. It's like, that's fine.
Honestly fine. Fine.
Give me some of those jolly vibes, some of that fan service and all that, and give me a solid 3D platformer, and I'm going to be happy.
Yep, we all have a lot of nostalgia for that. So yeah. I'm like, it doesn't even have to, you know, even if it's swimming in sevens, that would be a fun swimming in sevens. You know, it's like, yeah, I feel pretty confident that it's at least going to be a fun time. You know?
Yeah. I think most people, like everyone who decided this game, has their expectations in the right place.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Hogwarts Legacy, February 10th.
It's a hard one.
Yeah. Because the things they actually show from the game, like it's one of those games. Like obviously fuck J.K. Rowling, taking her out of this as far as like my thoughts on the game. What they've shown is really cool.
I do think it looks very cool.
Yes, very cool. It's one of those things where the stuff is so cool. I wonder like if it all comes together and be as good as it looks. Because it's ambitious.
It is. The only thing that like I'm like a little worried about is the combat kind of looks like it could be Assassin's Creed type of like mind-numbing press square a bunch of times.
Yeah,
thing.
But
it's obviously more ranged, but it still just kind of looks like you know, just mobs of people.
Yeah, but my hope is even if it's kind of more that where this combat is like not like completely satisfying for the whole thing, it's like based on what we've seen so far, the rest of the package is like it's a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque kind of thing where it's like, okay, combat's very disappointing, but the rest of it brings this all together and make it great.
Right. As opposed to an Assassin's Creed, I would actually care and I'm there for everything else in the season.
So I guess I also say this, and we've kind of talked about gone back and forth with this. I don't have it on my anticipated list. It's just a weird thing.
I don't either. Part of me really wants to play it, and like I don't know. Like part of me is like I don't know one way or the other if I'd buy it yet or not. I'm like still like going back and forth in my head. You know, there's like to a certain degree, it's like, you know, you gotta live your life and be happy, and there's only so much you can do as one single person, and it's gonna make a shit ton of money anyway. At the same and like obviously creators suck all over the place. At the other hand, this one just sucks because so much of the money and so much of it goes directly to, you know, J.K. Rowling with the way things goes and everything. I don't know. Yeah, I also didn't put it on my anticipated, even though it might be a game I buy because it does legitimately look really freaking cool. You know, it's like the whole social aspect of it is what I'm there for. You know, like I
Yeah.
love it. You know, it's like that would be
Yeah,
fun.
I think it'd be a lot more anticipated game if it wasn't for that kind of hanging over it. And yeah, and again, that's one of those weird things. And we've talked about it. We're not going to begrudge anyone to get they buy this game because of it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it might be me. I mean, the game
Yeah.
looks really cool. If I just hear amazing things about it, I'm gonna reserve. I'm gonna see what I feel like at the time.
Yeah.
You know,
We will see.
I'll maybe break into a local GameStop and steal it. I'm not gonna steal it. No stealing. No stealing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, as far as that's your kind of mindset
Just
or whatever, is always get it used.
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, the money's technically already there. I mean, you know.
It's
there's
a
weird
thorny
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's only so much that you can really do. But I don't begrudge anyone either way.
Yeah.
Is what I'll always say.
But do you regret people buying Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line?
Oh,
on
yeah,
February
screw
16th?
those people.
Yeah. We don't need them. The rhythm game trash. Do you remember what this
No,
is?
I do not.
It's the Final Fantasy one.
I remember that there is a Final Fantasy one. I don't remember, is it like super bad and low budget? I don't really remember.
People love this series.
So sorry. They're after me. They're coming after me, Jeff. You gotta protect me now. Put me in the witness protection services.
No. People really do love this game. Obviously, partly because it's a fun rhythm game. The Final Fantasy music's iconic. They're adding a whole bunch of music from other series. I think Nier and like Live Alive and stuff. Music's going to be in there. I think it's DLC, but it's going to in Bravely Default and stuff. So I get why people are excited. I expect this game to be well received by the people it likes and sell probably about what Square expects. Hey, something that might meet their expectations. Wild Hearts, February 17th. Do you remember what this game is?
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
It is that monster hunting looking ass EA game.
Oh, did we ever actually end up seeing this? I just remember hearing about it. Oh, okay.
No, Darby.
I don't think I ever actually saw it.
There was an actual trailer during the Game Awards, which I'm going to be like 90% sure you thought was probably a Monster Hunter trailer.
Probably.
Or at least you at the beginning. Cause I remember thinking, this Monster Hunter. Then it comes and going, it's like, no, it's not. Then it did Wild Hearts. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So this little like, normal EA thing where it just kind of looks like that's a video game. Generic video game.
It looks fine, but yeah, it kind of looks like generic Monster Hunter to the point where I'm like, I have no like reading on the pulse of like how this game's going to do, but also I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it.
It's one of those things that could surprise us and blow up.
If it's good, if it's like really good, I'm expected to do well. If it's just kind of whatever, it's going to be one of those. Okay, people might play it over the weekend, and we hear about it much for a week, but then disappears.
I'm not upset with the concept of people kind of riffing on Monster Hunter because I do think there's something there that's not like multiplayer all fighting one big monster and hunting them down or whatever. I feel like Monster Hunter doesn't have to have a lock on that. You can do that. So we'll see.
Like a Dragon Ishin, February 21st.
Is this no? This is the prequel, like super duper prequel.
Yeah.
Like way in the past, Samurai.
Way in the past,
yeah, Samurai.
Yes,
yeah.
we. It's not on this first half list, but in the other list I have of the 2023, the actual like between 7 and 8, like a Dragon Kiryu game is also coming out next year.
This one look cool. Looks very different. I'm into it. Samurais.
Hey, expect this game to do well and review well at this point.
Huber. Huber bait. That's Huber bait right there. Yakuza and Samurai. Who baby?
I'm just gonna have this count as PSVR 2 launch. Horizon Call of the Mountain, February 22nd.
You're just calling that to be the release date.
Oh, it is the release date.
It is the release date. Okay.
Yeah, this is a launch game. A bunch of stuff launched. Like I think the Resident Evil Village VR update's coming out that day as well on PSVR 2 or whatever. Which I'm bummed not going to play that, but
this looks like something that would be pretty, but also kind of insubstantial in the long run. Just like a kind of VR experience.
Actually, I just remembered for this game, it was at the Game Awards they showed a trailer, but something was going on, and so we were off the screen. But I never actually went back and looked at it, so I can't even remember know how it actually looks and plays.
You're not gonna play this.
Oh no! No, I'm not even gonna get a PSVR 2.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're not even gonna have a VR 2.
Yeah, and it's a Horizon game. Why would I care? Yeah.
If I don't even care at this point, then I don't know why.
Honestly, for PSVR 2, I can't remember. What was the price? Wasn't it absurd?
$950,000 US.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it's gonna bomb.
Yeah, I think whatever it was, I think it was more.
We were like
more
a little high. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not expecting great things out of this, just partly because even like there is a dedicated like VR fan base, like depending on how you find that it's like getting to them is successful.
I can just already see it. There's gonna be like certain people who are like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! Oh my god, VR, hell yeah, whatever." And then within a year, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that thing was like not that good or whatever." And I'll be like, I just feel like we did this with multiple VR things. Like I remember people like, "Oh, the Batman VR, Arkham Bat. Oh my god, it's like it's literally just putting on a bat suit and teleporting around a few places, and then it's over. That's all it was. It was just a little tech demo."
To be fair, we have evolved from that in VR gameplay.
We have, but this is just I don't know. I think this
I think the thing that hurts this more is that there's not really a bunch of like exclusives for this particular headset, and I have seen no indication from Sony that there's going to be more, like because they just completely killed off stuff for the first PlayStation VR. And I see no reason to believe they are going to, especially with their change in general mindset for games. Yeah. As far as like we're all AAA.
Oh no!
I have no reason to believe they're actually going to put stuff into this.
No, the PSVR 2 existing seems like an accident. I don't know. See, it does not coincide with anything else Sony's doing. So,
and it's like anything else on there. It's like, well, it's just probably going to be on Quest 2. So yeah,
you're not. I don't think you're competing with Meta at this point.
Yep. But is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe out on February 24th competing with Meta?
I don't know what this is, Jeffrey.
It's a remake of a Wii game.
Oh.
They announced it in the last Direct.
Well, weren't all Kirby games bad before Forgotten Lands? So. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I was like, Kirby games aren't bad. They're just there. You just know what they are, and
that's almost fine. Worse, Jeff.
Yeah, they're fine. But yeah, I think this is considered one of the better ones, but I'm not paying $60 for this.
Fair enough for me. So Octopath Traveler 2.
Also out February 24th. Big day for the Switch. Actually, I think it's coming out on other stuff that day too. Actually, maybe I can't remember.
Probably. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say probably.
I can't remember what they said for this one.
For a while, so I shouldn't say that.
I don't know. But yeah.
It's gonna be pretty as hell. But I got burned. I spent 50 hours in the first one, enjoyed it, but then it got way too grindy. I just don't have faith.
Yeah,
that I would actually stick with this game, and it would be good. But if I hear things, specific things, not just like I'm gonna have to look and be like, have you fixed your problems of the grindiness and everything, or at least it can be grindy as long as there are interesting things to do to get levels. But it was just
yeah. Because Pokemon can be very grindy, but for whatever reason,
those cute little creatures just pull us through. Mm-hmm. All right, so put Chansey in Octopath Traveler 2.
Yes. What a Chansey equivalent. That is very obvious.
Give me the ham sandwiches.
Yep.
And we're good.
Uh-huh. Well, Long Fallen Dynasty. March 3rd. That's a Koei Tecmo game, if you don't remember.
It's a pet that I'm just... This is the crazy ass one, right? That looks
no.
That's Wulong or whatever it is, or something. What's that?
I should have Black Myth Wukong.
Wukong. Okay, never mind. I don't know what this is.
It's a Koei Tecmo game.
I'm done.
Okay. It looks fine. I expect it to review well, sell well. It's probably more close on the vein of Neo than like the Muso stuff. So
yeah. More power to everyone. Yeah.
Skull and Bones.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Knife, it's finally happening.
Review score over under 6. I got him, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I got his ass.
That is a good number to pick. That's the number to pick.
I'm a professional.
Yeah. My head says under. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very fair.
If
very
above,
fair.
barely.
That's very fair. I'm gonna say barely above. I think we getting 6 point something.
Yeah,
just like
a 62 open critic.
Something that's like that.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's probably more accurate. I don't know.
But no, I understand.
Yeah, I have no reason to believe this game actually like it. I have have no reason to believe this game's actually going to be any good and sell anything.
We're all just gonna watch Don play it once, and that's gonna be the end of it. And then we move on with our life.
This is the ultimate. You buy this because it has Ubisoft on the cover game,
If there are those people, I guess
Yeah.
there's those people. I don't know.
or at least Ubisoft like AAA games, like because yeah. If you know anything about the history of this game or seeing the videos, it's like why, especially like getting
could
it.
have been cool.
Well, here's the
Could've been
thing,
cool.
especially getting it day one, because you know this game's going to be $20 or below in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you can say that for Ubisoft games in general, but this one definitely so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, March 17th.
It's crazy how close that is.
Yeah.
The thing that we just, it's Chibi Bayonetta thing.
Yep, action adventure game.
I do not have very high. I have a weird vibe about
I can
this game.
see swimming
I might
in
be
7.
wrong. I might be wrong, but I have a weird vibe about this game.
I don't expect it to be like great or anything. I can see it's women in 7s.
And my problem is I think even if it's a fucking 10 out of 10, it's not selling. I just don't see this.
Oh,
like,
I don't even remember what I was talking about. It's $60.
yeah, it's really not selling.
Yeah, no, wait, not selling.
No, it's not selling. I mean, already Bayonetta was already kind of a niche game, and then this is not the type of game that they play. Really, like I feel like you're gonna get the Bayonetta lore heads, which I don't think is very many people, and I think that's about it. You know, it's like
and the fact that it's like even if you're someone who cares about Bayonetta lore, this is based off the Bayonetta 3 Bayonetta, which her story history or whatever, you know. We've talked about this. There's some controversy with some stuff for a thing. So there'll be some people who are like, why I don't care about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what the controversy is. I just know there is one, so that would help to know. But I just don't. I have bad vibes.
Yeah.
Bad vibes about at least the success and ongoing. I think this is going to be the end of the Bayonetta side projects. Like, ended in one go. Like, I think this is going to be immediately they're like, why did we sign on for this? Never again. But, you know.
And I guess props for them for wanting to do something, planning for doing something different than Turnover signing off on it.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, same day, March 17th.
This game is going to sell.
No, this game's going to sell and review great. I have absolutely no interest in it.
Same.
Well, partly because, you know, we need to continue our Star Wars watch. Like, once I get more into Star Wars, I'll probably try out the first one, Fallen Order, just to see, like, maybe how I feel about it.
I don't think you're going to like it that much, just because, like...
But you know about me and, like, the way I'm feeling about combat in games at this point?
Yes, and it's like, the combat is, like... You know, just a substantially less interesting Souls-like thing. And the story is just kind of nothing. I mean, like, almost because it's trying to be a Souls-like thing, the story is just very bite-sized. Like, the actual story-relevant things in that game is probably, like, an hour worth of stuff that you could go on YouTube and watch and get, like, yep, you got the story of Jedi Fallen Order, because the vast majority of it is traversing the world and fighting the things or whatever, which I guess would be fine if that was more fun. Like, just because I know that, especially since I know that you are kind of more of a story-centric guy, I don't think you would like it that much. It's like, but I mean, definitely try it, but I do not foresee you, like, at most I foresee you being like, it's okay, sure.
Yeah. You're going to give you the Star Wars as one, just because of everything. For those reasons, and you're not the only one who says the things you did. You guys are the minority of feeling that way, but I've still heard it from other people.
Respawn Aim Fire had my back. I remember them taking the same thing.
Yeah. But a game I am excited for. Resident Evil 4, March 24th. That is a day one buy, baby.
Are you still planning on playing the original before?
I had no idea.
Jeff, you got to make a decision.
I know. Also, the VR version I could also play.
Yep.
I got decisions to make.
Time to make a decision.
But it's Resident Evil. I'm a big Resident Evil guy at this point. I think that's safe to say.
It's supposed to be the best one, according to many people.
Yeah, considering one of the best ones, and with the way they've done things, like I have no reason to doubt this is going to be anything but great.
Yeah. Easy.
And even at worst for the game in general, it might be a Resident Evil 3 situation where a lot of people have problems with it, or because they played the original and some changes / omissions with this. Yeah, but this is 3 is also a different thing where they put it out quickly and all that kind of stuff. This is Resident Evil 4. I have no doubts.
I don't think they're cutting stuff from Resident Evil 4.
No.
don't think they would have the audacity to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am ready. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, April 14th, baby.
Okay, so what all's on this?
All of them.
All of them. Literally every Mega Man game ever made? Or
No, all the Battle Network
Battle
games.
okay.
Which is that particular Mega. Do you remember what's when this?
I think we've been through this exact thing before, where like you've shown me like, so they're not really Mega Man games like the traditional Mega Man style games. They're like other little
Yeah, I'll just show you a screenshot of like,
other
a
little
battle.
bite-sized things, like or little mini game things.
There is a GameCube game which is very aggressively mediocre / bad that is more traditional Mega Man. And I played it. I enjoyed it at the time, but in revisiting it, meh.
Gotcha.
Let me see if I can find like a battle.
But this is from what console?
DS / Game Boy Advance. Like when I was a kid, this series was one of my absolute faves. Like no question. I played the shit out of these fucking games.
Something like what kind of game is it? You just...
That's not the graphic style, by the way. Let me see if I can find a. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So what you do here, Darby, is a grid-based battle thing where you have two sides or whatever, and you use battle chips. Like you build like a deck, and then like there's a timer that goes down, and once that you can open your thing and select chips to use as attacks. And they can also have effect things like, you know, the blue-red right there. You can use ones to take away part of their grid and make that red so you can move on that.
Okay.
And
It's like turn-based.
not really. You're moving around and is active and everything.
No.
But, yeah, you can pause it to, like, load your chips on there and then do a bunch of shit. And different attacks have, like, different, like, it attacks, like, diagonal or whatever.
So are you fighting just in computers and
Yes,
battles
but-
like this? Just like battle to battle.
They're adding a line to it and trading.
Oh, shit.
Because apparently there is a decently sized like modding community who've done this, and Capcom's like, nah, actually we're gonna do that.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so there's some people I've seen that are getting it just for that. Like
That's
they
super
obviously
cool.
are interested in playing in this, but that is the main thing.
It's an official way of doing
Yeah,
that.
like doing like you now play this competitive now.
Yeah.
And obviously for me, I want to replay these games again.
Thanks, Capcom.
Yeah.
That's good. Good.
Yep, yeah, and it has all the games, both versions of them, and all that kind of shit. $60. They've added some more stuff to it. Like, this seems to like as far as like ports and collections and stuff. This seems to definitely be one of the better ones
Nice.
as far as effort and everything.
Good.
And I love if they just went back to this series.
That's feel good. Feel
Yep.
good.
So I'm excited. I'm probably not getting day one just because of everything that's coming like before and after it. But this is a game I'm 100% picking up on my Switch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Dead Island 2, April 28th.
I'm interested in this. I think it might sell decently well, and it
The-
looks good.
Yeah,
It
the
does
first
look
trailer
good. Yes, yeah, it
impressed.
is. I thought so. It's not like I'm not like a 100%. I'm gonna get it, but I expected a Dead Island 2 trailer to come and go without a remark from me, but I was like, no, I thought it did look good. Yeah.
And it's nice to know, like, obviously this thing has the crazy history and everything,
Yes.
but at least this iteration of the game hasn't been plagued with development things. It's just
It's a new game.
yeah, I can't remember the time they said, but when they said it's like, okay, it's just a normal dev cycle for this, and they pushed it back
was
like
3
a
years,
month
4
or
years
two.
ago.
It was like originally coming out in February. Pushed a month back. Like, yeah, take your time at this point. Just make sure you get this right.
Yeah, I have good vibes about this game.
Yes.
I already forgot which games I had bad vibes on, but I have good vibes on this game.
Yes.
Good.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th.
Nah, it's trash. Gonna be awful.
True.
Gonna completely crash and burn.
Terrible.
Nintendo's a baby company that makes baby games for babies to play, and I'm not one of them. I'm not a baby, so
That's true.
So moving on. Anyway, suicide.
Yeah.
What do we even say? I mean, it's just the sequel.
I'm ready.
It's the sequel to one of the best
Just give
games
it to
ever,
me.
and we've been like, I'm tired of talking about this game. I just want it to come out. I
Yeah.
just want it in my hands.
I don't even need no more trailers.
No.
And actually,
In fact, I would like rather we not have more trailers.
but
I
Nintendo,
want the
if you announce it
front-
at a direct, I will be watching that shit.
I want the front cover to be a black box. It's just as white letters. Legends on the front of Tears of the Kingdom. hand it to me, put it in there, let me play.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else. I don't want anything else.
So yeah, I think it's to say based on all that, the expectation for this is GOTY contender.
Yes,
for sure, and sell a bunch.
I've been calling this from the get-go. I think no matter what, this is like, I'm just calling it. I've been calling it for years. This is going to be a controversial game. Whether it changes a lot, doesn't change a lot, does whatever. There's just so much momentum building up to this game that there's going to be some conversation when it comes out of like it not being worth the hype or something. I'm not even saying I'm not saying this is how I feel like I think I'm gonna. Like, no. I just think there's so much momentum building. Yeah. There's gonna be online discourse.
I'm gonna say this to a different place.
It's gonna be,
and
like
I'm not doing this to trash talk this game or anything. Because I know we are in the minority of feeling this way about God of War Ragnarok. I think it will be an interesting comparison point, just in general. Seeing how the reception for Tears of the Kingdom is. First off, we need to see how it is and everything. But assuming it, it's potentially as great as Breath of the Wild or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. Really good game. Like the comparison between the general reception of Ragnarok compared as a sequel to God of War 2018 to that, because the feeling for God of War 2018 and Breath of the Wild were kind of similar. It's just like, oh, these are definitely GOTY or whatever, and one of the best games ever for different reasons, of course. I'm very curious to see, because I agree with you. I feel like that's a very good chance of happening. But then, obviously I just thought also about God of War Ragnarok, where I felt like that did not happen. And I'm very curious to see if that happened, what the differences is. I feel like part of it will be because it's not a story-based game. Sure. Because it's gameplay focused, and it'll be a lot more feeling I've been there, done that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it could be the be there, done that, but it could also be. I mean, I think Majora's Mask was and still is very controversial for kind of changing things a lot, turning on its head more.
Yeah. No, we talked about this. If this is the Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild's Ocarina of Time, yes.
but that's why I think kind of no matter what, I think it's going to be controversial, because I think, no matter what they do, I just think that it's been built up so long that there's going to be some, there's going to be some discourse.
I'm ready.
I'm ready for the discourse, and I have an open mind.
Yes,
I definitely have an open mind with this game. Like, I love Breath of the Wild to death. I'm going into this game expecting to probably like it less than Breath of the Wild, and that's okay. And if I like it more, great. But it's like, I
don't know. It was my top 10 of all time. It's not my top 5. Oh, woe is me.
No.
But the unfortunate thing is, it's the day before Alex and Olivia's wedding, so they have to move it. I've been trying to get them to
move it, or let you play it while while you're up there.
Yes,
it's one or the other.
Yes, there's no in between.
Oh Lord!
About 2 weeks later, on May 26th, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Cautious good vibes.
I feel good about it.
Pretty good vibes. It's like,
we've talked about it. I feel like some people, when going into this game, will have Gotham Knights reflect their potential opinion on this when they shouldn't be, kind of like with Avengers and the Guardians and stuff.
That's out of mind. That's out of mind when it comes to this game. Like, if this game's bad, it has nothing to do with
I believe in Rocksteady. I can also understand, like we've talked about it, some people don't like the general vibe of the story or whatever, where you're fighting / killing the Justice League and they're evil.
None of all that excites me. Yeah, the only thing that that potentially is like, how is it going to feel with the different characters and with multiplayer? Like, how is that going to work?
Yeah, I have faith in them. Like, we haven't seen much gameplay, but once it does look solid mechanically, and see like, okay, I can see how this will be fun and all that. Yeah. Like, again, comparing it to Gotham Knights, where immediately once we actually saw raw gameplay, the vast majority was like, ooh. So I have hope there. I like the vibe they're going with the story, just partly because Rocksteady makes great boss fights. Fighting the Justice League, the potential for the boss fight there are insane. Green Lantern boss fight? Oh, fuck yes.
And I think this game's been worked on for a long time. I'm expecting polish.
So I am excited. Plus, as I mentioned before, I think I get it alone because it's Kevin Conroy's last Batman performance. So
you gonna play it with me?
Of course. You're Harley Quinn. Don't know who I'm gonna be.
Someone else? Anyone else?
Yep. I mean, Alex got
Shark.
Yeah, I'll say it's either going to be Shark or Dead King Shark or Dead Shot because Alex is obviously gonna get Boomerang.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Street Fighter 6, June 2nd.
Yeah.
Not a game we're planning on picking up because we know how little we'll actually play it.
Yes, I'm going to have self-control. But of all the games that I know I'm not going to get, I am more excited about this one than some of the other ones, just for it to be in the ether, to hear Max talk about it, hear other people talk about it, and just to watch it be played.
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in that this game is going to be really good.
Everything seems to be hitting. I don't know. I mean, and it's not like people have played a lot of this game. It's not like it's an unknown quality right now. So I feel good about it. I think it's Street Fighter. I think needs a win at launch again. Because 5 was a long journey to get to a good spot. I think this is going to be better out the gate. And just Capcom's been firing on all cylinders and everything but fighting games. It's time for the fighting games to come back to.
Yeah, I think this was a showing that we're gonna take our time to get this right, kind of thing.
Smart.
I mean, they gave 5 extra seasons of DLC because of it to give more of the time for this game.
They're doing it right.
Yep. Diablo 4, June 6th.
It's a Blizzard game. I just assume that it's gonna be mired in controversy, but still sell a bunch and play a bunch, and then everyone's gonna hate it, and then suddenly love it again, and hate it again, and then suddenly love it again, and hate it again. I don't know. I just assume
Hate and love at the same time.
Yeah, hate and love it at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And finally, Final Fantasy 16.
Ooh, baby.
June 22nd. Give it to me.
Ooh, boy.
I'm ready.
Big Frit.
Big Frit.
Big Shiva. Ice
Donkey
Queen. Big Ice.
Yep. I'm ready. I'm very excited for this game, the kind of tone they're going for and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, main questions about combat. Just because even if it is from the 14 team, everything, I trust in the world and story from that team 100%. But because it's such a different thing for combat, that's still a question mark.
For sure.
But
yes,
I like the way it looks and everything. I think it'll at least be a fun time. I'm imagining, for me, at the very least, at worst, as far as my opinion, the combat might be kind of serviceable, where it's like, okay, this is not like the most exciting thing when I get in the combat, like the general moot combat at this point, but it's fun enough, and the rest of the game's good enough for me to get by and everything. Yeah. And you'll at least have those excitement, compared to Guardians and our feelings on that combat being boring, is for the most part, boss fights were kind of more of the same, even if they had little gimmicks here and there. Where it's we've already seen the boss fights in that are going to be insane. At least those will be exciting when you get to them.
My only devil's advocate.
Okay, go for it.
Is that this game's probably going to be 70 hours long. That's the only caveat. If Guardians of the Galaxy was 70 hours long, there's not a chance in hell I would have gotten to the end of that game.
Fair.
But yes, I generally think it's going to land for most people.
Yes.
I've been over it a bunch of times. I'm just not super into what I see with the combat personally, but it's a personal problem. Just give me Rebirth. Which
is also slated for 2023. So let's see where it lands. How many games we decided to list of 2022.
Yeah, no. There's some I kind of forgot about. Suicide Squad. So I might let me see where at.
Well, if you want me to, how many do you think you're gonna get to?
I think with this, I think I got to 10.
Alrighty, so what you can do while trying to figure that shit out, I think this is how I'm feeling at this point. I got 15. I can do my 15 for 11, and then we can do our normal back and forth thing.
Okay.
My number 15, most anticipated game for. So before going into this, prefacing, as far as my general feelings on going into, I feel like 2023, based on what we know, has a lot of heavy hitters, but maybe not as many pure numbers of games that I'm looking forward to compared to last year. I think I had 20, and actually most of them came out. Only 3 on my list last year didn't.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was that's crazy. But yeah, number 15. Disney Illusion Island.
What is this?
That is that Switch exclusive game where you play as the Rayman looking one.
Right.
I'm not 100% sold on this game, obviously. There's some questions for it. But that game looks fun and is multiplayer. So I think us playing together even whether it's just us or with a couple of friends, will just be a good time, good jolly time. Number 14, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like, I know what this game's going to be. I'm going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
As we talked about.
Yeah.
Number 13, Fire Emblem Engage.
Pretty low.
Yeah, I think because of the reasons we talked about, it's kind of like, man, if I'm talking about like older games that I'm going to go back to and play specifically in place of that game, and for reasons I talked about, like there is a legitimate chance I just don't play this game, like for sure.
I kind of see you getting lost in the shuffle of all
Yeah, even then, like I just will not feel the motivation, even compared to like other like Nintendo games that I don't get like day one and everything. And again, I've kind of expressed reasons why, but even then, I can't exactly put my finger on why I'm feeling as low on it as I am.
Man, you don't have to.
Yeah. Again, Fire Emblem is a series I've loved for a long time.
Feeling,
so yeah,
there's a lot of them. I mean, Three Houses doesn't feel that long ago.
Yeah, 2019.
But I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
It'll be like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Number 12. I always butcher the pronunciation of this game. Iodine
Chronicles, I think.
Yep. 100 Heroes.
So this is the prequel game thing? Or,
No, this is the
real
main
game.
one.
It
It is
game.
coming out this year. Come out this year.
I mean, I don't know where it would go on my thing, but I am interested in it. Sorry.
Yes.
Continue, though. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it would be outside my top 10, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I'm blanking again. What's the one that... Suikoden.
Suikoden, yeah.
Spiritual successor to that. That's a game that on paper sounds like my shit. This is a spiritual successor, and what we've seen so far looks very good.
They do.
So
they do.
I'm very interested, and it's coming to Game Pass day one as well. So that like, I had no reason not to give it a try. Let's go. So I'm excited for that.
By the way, did you make a timestamp for this section?
I did.
Okay.
It's at the bottom after the list.
Okay.
Just for your references. Let me make a change real quick. All right. Number 11, Master Detective Archives Rain Code.
Those are words.
Yes. That's that game that was announced on Nintendo Direct, I believe, by the Danganronpa dude.
Okay. So the last one you did was bad, right?
That is one. That was definitely a lower budget one that was made between him and the
I don't fully remember this
Zero
one.
Escape dude.
Yeah.
This seems more like a higher budget one, at least in comparison. Oh, it just looks fun.
Yeah, no, I just don't fully remember it, but yes.
Yeah, there's a good chance that it comes out and I miss it, and even I play it below some of the ones that I have lower on the list. But it's like, sometimes I always get sometimes in the mood for those kind of like Danganronpa or Ace Attorney kind of things. But even I'm kind of feeling sometimes specifically in the mood for the more Danganronpa style, and no one's really been good at like replicating in that kind of game.
Phoenix writes your Danganronpa. Sometimes you just need to settle in.
Yep, settle in for some murder.
Investigate the murder, yeah.
So I'm excited for this game. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Obviously not 100% sold, but I'm excited.
All right, so we ready to go back and forth with our top 10?
Yep.
All righty. Well, I guess I'll start since you just did all that. My numero 10, and I might have forgotten some games, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I might have put the game on the list. I don't know.
I mean, I might have
for
as I hear
you.
things from you, I might have to be like, shit, damn it. Okay. Yeah. My number 10, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Obviously pretty low, but pretty low overall. But like, I think there's a chance Spider-Man 2 is one of those games I don't play. Like, to be honest, just like that kind of game is just like, I don't know, getting
I'm just gonna go ahead and predict right now, regardless whether you play or not, you're going to wait for me to play it and get my impressions.
I am still interested in the story. I just I can't get excited about the combat. I just
I hear you. No, like I said, I think you're going to at least probably end up waiting to hear my feelings on the combat, because I ended up feeling similar to you at least after
Miles Morales. Yeah. So it's not like I have no interest in it. It's not like Jedi Survivor where it's like I didn't like the combat or the story. It's like, no, I still really like the story. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it to me. It's like,
Well, the thing is with the Spider-Man games is like generally their combat and like that kind of stuff that I find fun. it's just so much of it, and there's like no change in like what you have to do to go in there. I know,
Right.
Yeah, some people will argue, especially what Miles, they added difference. Like, and there's some electric effects and bigger punch. Like, but it's nothing that big.
Same thing with God of War right now. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not like that. It's not fun at all. It's just not fun for the length of time they have, and they just like the actual gameplay just gets
Yeah, and just the amount of times where it's like, oh well, this is obviously a room. They're gonna throw a bunch of enemies out there. Once I take 2 more steps, like, oh, here come the mob of enemies that are coming out of nowhere for a while.
It's padded and predictable
Yeah.
in so many ways, and like I don't know.
Yeah, there's some games that obviously where might have a similar amount of combat where the combat can just feel more natural. Where it's like that's when these games just feel more like game ass games in the worst way.
I just start to feel with God of War, with this, with everything else, whatever, that like I'm eating my vegetables to just get this to the story, and that's just a bad feeling.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm already like thinking about with God of War, I might just like bump it down to super mega easy so that I can just get through it as fast as possible to experience the story. At some point, I'm like, it's hard for me to call you one of the greatest games. It's hard for me to say that you're one of the best games when I'm actively trying to like get by a whole pillar of the actual game play. It's like so. I get to a conflicted place with this. Like, you're telling stories better than almost anyone else, but how much does that weigh when I just don't like playing your game?
Yeah. I just played Xenoblade for 90 hours. I played that MMO ass RPG.
Obviously, that works on all fronts.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So, obviously, conflicted feelings in Spider-Man 2. So that's why it gets down. It's in the top 10, but bottom.
My number 10, which I imagine's on your list or you forgot about it, is also a possibility. Sea of Stars.
No, it's on my list.
Okay. No,
Yes.
kind of like Ending Chronicle, but even more obviously because I have it higher. This game just looks good,
So good.
it looks beautiful, and it looks like from the stuff mechanically and just everything about it, it gives me the best warm fuzzy feelings of like what I loved about old school JRPGs.
For sure. I mean, that art style is like it's like close to Octopath into just like immediately striking. Probably one of my favorite like modern retro looking art styles. Like,
but it also has its own distinct.
Yes, and the whole like the character switching thing seems like with the two people, with the like brother and sister, whoever they are, seems like really, really cool.
It's hard to remember exactly specific
like,
things because it's been talked about so long. But they just did confirm the other, the last couple of days, I think. Summer 2023 is their release window.
Nice.
So it's looking like at least, even if it's a little delayed, a little outside of that, it should be this year.
Should be this year. Yeah. No, I'm super excited about it.
Yep.
And yes, it is further up on my list.
All right, Darby, you're number 9.
My number 9 is Goodbye Volcano High.
I figured that'd be on your thing.
Yeah, it's been like a little, I don't know, like this game might end up being bad, but it's been a cute little game that I really liked the first story trailer to it, and I used to see a lot of like the Twitter updates from the team or whatever. I don't feel like I've seen that in a while, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It looks very cute. It looks like a Life is Strange type of thing or whatever. Where it's like
Woods.
Night in the Woods. Like that's what I'm gearing for. With it being number 9 on my list, that's what I'm like. This has a chance to be one of those surprising indie like story like hits you really hard type games.
No, that's what. Yeah, I was just about to say it's not on my list, but it's definitely like, especially if like reviews are pretty good and everything, depending when it comes out, I'll probably just end up grabbing it. Same thing as you, but especially like if I don't do it then and then you play it and you really like it, because especially those kind of games, I trust you obviously because we both have the same thing for Life is Strange.
This has just been a pet game that I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just like attached to
this is definitely one of those games with the potential of it. We get at the end of the year and it's like at a spot of like Life is Strange and Night in the Woods for us on our end year list.
Right. It reminds me of like Haven. I played Haven, and that was a weird one. Weird one for me to play, but I really liked it. It's like I hope this is better than Haven. Haven had problems, but if it falls into that category where it's like short and sweet and like really touches me in the feels, I'll be happy. And teen drama, we all love our teen drama. Teammates, so come on.
They're all gonna fucking die at the end.
Oh yeah, they're all good.
Oh boy, number 9. Dead Space.
Oh, I did forget Dead Space. Fuck.
I was curious about that.
I did forget Dead Space.
Would you have named it at this point, or would you think it would be higher up?
It'd be higher up.
Okay.
I'll insert it.
Okay.
Spider-Man is now number 11 out of the top 10. Insomniac, get wrecked.
Now that we talked about, I'm excited for this. Obviously, I have gotten a lot more into the survival horror genre, and Dead Space is supposed to be one of the greats. This remake, everything I've seen, has looked very impressive, and everything they've said is, I think, to be the right thing. So, yeah, I mean, this has a chance to be one of my top rate games at the end of the year. Absolutely.
Yeah, big agree. And this is like, I'm really hoping it holds up as much as I think it's going to. I mean, I have faith in it, and it's cool because this is just one of those games that it's like, you know, I can't say like, oh no, I don't like survival horror, like horror games. I know it's not exactly survival horror, but you know, like this type of game or whatever. I can't say I don't like it at all because I really do like Dead Space. Dead Space is very cool. You know, it's like there's some really cool. It has enough alien. It has a lot of things I like. You know, so it's cool.
So you're at a weird place now where technically your number.
So should you double up or something? Or I don't know. Cool. I'm at, or
you're number 8.
But if I do my 8, what will it be yours? Will it be your 8?
Yeah.
So I guess we can just do that. Whatever.
Wait, so you're going next?
Or so no, I would be on my number 9.
Okay.
Right. I guess we can just go 9, 8.
Okay.
Like that, whatever. I guess I'll end off. I started and I'll start and end, whatever that way.
I think I know how things are going to end here, but yeah, go.
Yeah. My number 9 now is Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Fuck it. It's my number 8.
Hey,
So
right.
we'll
Close
just
enough.
yeah.
Close enough. Yeah, close enough. Well,
Yeah,
you said Sea of Stars. I was like, that's high enough. I might not want to say it right now, but that's close enough. Yeah.
It was gonna be my next one anyway, so might as well.
That works. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm excited for this game. Like mechanically, it looks sound and everything. I think story wise, it's going to be fun and kind of like having a story where Justice League can be the bad guys. I think could be fun. It could also just be kind of meh, but I trust Rocksteady. Is a lot of stuff from saying I just trust them.
Yeah, but it is different. It is different from some of the stuff they've done, mostly with the multiplayer thing. I mean, this is not like a surefire thing, but I do have faith, and if it hits, I do think this could, especially if the multiplayer really hits right. I think this could be a fun thing for all of us to play. You know, it's like I'm into it, and Harley Quinn, the show and stuff, has made me like really love King Shark and Harley Quinn and more. Obviously, very different characters in this, but still, you know, I have a little bit more.
And as far as the multiplayer, the thing that gets me more hope for this compared to Gotham Knights is, well, as far as even the game itself is, it has that Gotham Knights had the weird thing where you played as a character, but they're like not there or something.
Right. I like that this is just like,
it's all 4 at all times.
Reminds me more of a Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm hoping I heap that kind of praise on the party and the story and stuff. You know, it's like, I mean, that's a high bar, you know, obviously as far as the party, but you know, we'll see. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Okay, it's your number 8.
Okay, my number 8, Armored Core.
Okay.
Something of Rubicon, whatever the hell of Rubicon. This one's a weird one. This one is a very decent chance of something that I don't end up playing at all. But I've always known that FromSoft is amazing at games, and now they just made probably one of my favorite games of all time with Elden Ring. So I'm going to be curious. Like, with them like making something very different from what they've made in a long time or whatever, like, I'm very, very curious. Like, I don't think they're going to go back to Armored Core just for the fuck of it. And they made like a huge, big trailer in that thing. Like, it also doesn't look like it's going to be like a low budget little pet project. Like, it's like this is going to be a big thing, a big deal. I'm not necessarily like super into mech games in the past. It's not like I played a lot of them or whatever. So like, again, I might not end up liking this, but I'm kind of at the stage with FromSoft where like I'm interested no matter what. And then this is like a very different tone. So I'm just like so curious. I'm very, very curious.
I think the most curious thing, like, I'm not sure where I stand in like as honestly, even going back to FromSoft games that are not Elden Ring, because a lot of what I love about Elden Ring is specific to Elden Ring. Yes. So there is some curiosity about that. But yeah, kind of like you. Yeah, I'm just, as a video game fan, curious to see, what an Armored Core in 2023 looks like from this from software.
Like, even if I don't play it, the curiosity puts it on this list. I'm just
like how it looks, how it's received, and all that kind of stuff is like, you can't help but not be curious.
It's one of the most like accomplished, one of the best developers in the game right now, kind of straying from their path, and that's fun. That's interesting. You know, I want to know how that goes.
Can't believe they're going to get their third Game of the Year or Game Awards Goaty Award.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right, so now my number 7, Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
That's it. I'm excited for it. Obviously some gameplay thing. I'm hoping like there's some changes up or something to keep me more engaged as far as that stuff goes. Because it was a weird thing with the original Spider-Man where I platinumed the game. Like I
forgot about that.
Yeah, and did all the side shit and all that kind of stuff for whatever reason. It took me a time, and then whatever reason, Miles Morales is like. I played it all in one sitting, so you could arguably attribute to that, but I don't think that had much to do with it as far as that, because I just did not feel the need to do any side quest stuff like I did for the original one for whatever reason. So I think I'm hoping there's some mix up here, or at least there's enough, kind of like we were talking about some other games earlier, more extra stuff there to where the combat, even if it's kind of more of the same, doesn't bother me much. Like good pacing and all that kind of shit.
Certainly story beats that I'm so interested to see how they pay off, So absolutely. Alrighty, my number 7 is Dead Space.
Yo, Dead Space.
Recently inserted onto this list. It's just not a new game, so it's easy to forget. But yeah, no, we talked about it already. I'm very interested to revisit this. Very excited to see like how it's better or whatever. But I have a very open mind. I'm not like. They are not required to change a bunch of things in here for me to be happy. It's like it can just be a pretty version of the old game, but control basically the same way, and I'll be fine. It's fine. Whatever. It also could be RE2'd, where it's like they really revamp things. Like either way, I'll be happy. But I have faith. I want some gross ass looking monsters in this. HD, 60 frames, all this stuff.
Yeah. Number 6. The Plucky Squire.
Same.
Let's go.
Also number 6.
Yeah, I was curious. This is one of those I knew was going to be on your list, but I'm curious if you remembered it. It was kind of thing.
I mean, I saw it on your list, and I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, just one of the best trailers of the year. Of this.
No, I was thinking about it last night. I rewatched it last night. It's like I can barely think of any trailer that's just like as pure gameplay as this that just sells it like this does.
This is what I want to scream at people about your trailers. Is like, that's how you do a freaking trailer. It's immediately we know what the game is.
Narrator there that's like
it has a hook. It has a hook that we talk about like the moment of that shifting and everything. But we also know what the game is. It's not it's like
it's like we know what the game is, but we kind of don't just because we're like as far as like going away from the actual trailer talk. But as far as what the game is, it's like it takes two kind of shit of everything in the kitchen sink. Yeah.
This game has a chance of being better to me than some of the things that are above it on this list.
100%.
It's just some of the ones above it are more familiarity or whatever.
Yeah,
but
and
like
just because of all the stuff that's there and how ambitious it looks, and because it's from a small studio, you gotta
factor in.
You gotta kind of like okay, you get expectations in check.
Yeah. But no, right now everything's looking. That trailer was like. Immediately, it was like I'm keeping tabs on this, like instantly.
Yep. Hopefully, we hear about that more about that sooner rather than later. So, looks pretty dang good.
All right, well, right back at you then.
Number 5, Final Fantasy 16.
Nice.
Some crazy
top
shit.
Top five. Nice.
Said before. Give me all that summon bullshit. Like
absolutely.
Those crazy kaiju battles.
And you Game of Thrones ask proper nouns and kingdom names and strife in the kingdom and betrothals.
All that chocobo blood. God damn it.
God,
we share a single brain cell.
What the fuck?
There's one brain cell between the two of us. We share it.
Yeah, we do. It goes back and forth. It just jumps.
But yeah, very excited. Yeah. And I think what's nice about a lot of these games that we have on this list and some of the bigger ones is like I can feel confident that most of them are coming out this year. Yeah. There's some that are questionable.
If that one doesn't come out this year, so help us God.
Yeah.
My number 5, right? Five. Sea of Stars, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, no, I'm like, maybe shooting this thing up too high from just one trailer, but one really good trailer, but boy, it looks good. It looks real good. You're talking about just raw anticipation.
Well, Darby, I'm about to say, for Stars, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Or I've seen I've seen the one extended thing or whatever. But we at least haven't
even
seen
more.
Okay, there's probably things I haven't seen.
I think they might be like smaller clips, but they've like periodically have some stuff out. So there's at least been a steady stream for them.
I think I just saw
I think there's also I looked at it because I just wanted to look at the trailer again, just to kind of.
That's why I went back and looked.
Yeah,
at it
I think there's like literally an hour and a half like demo footage out there. Maybe I might be wrong.
Okay, then
or at least it might be a discussion or something.
I need to look at this then.
A lot of talk on it at least, and people seem to really like it.
Nice.
You played the demo, but that was a while ago, so I'm curious how it's changed.
Same. No, but it just looks like it's perfect blend of old school type RPG type thing and new, and looks so pretty, so pretty. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
My number 4 might be dangerous to put it this high. Ooh. One Piece Odyssey.
Ooh, no, Jeff, lean in.
Lean in. God, this game just.
This is raw anticipation, Jeff. Yes. Desire.
Yes.
What game would you want in front of you right now if you could have it? If I could, make it happen in front of you.
Well, technically, I guess I 3 games higher than that, but
I know, but it's this is the order.
Yeah.
I can't give you those 3, but I can give you anything else. One Piece. There it is.
Yep. No, like I said, I think everything they showed, everything looks good. Like the reasons to people generally have qualms about anime games, and they rightly should. Mm-hmm. A lot of them doesn't actually apply to them because a lot of it is. The time spent on the game is not much. This game's been worked on for like 5 or 6 years. Like it's had the development time. It's not the highest budget game, but for anime standards, it's been no. Especially for a JRPG, it has some budget in there. Yes. Some models may not look a little off, but that honestly comes to a lot of. Some One Piece characters transition to 3D better than other ones. That's just Oda's art style. And again, what I want to get my hands on it as far as the combat and stuff, but what they've shown and the ideas they have, like with the whole thing pretty much being split off into like maybe up to 3 different distinct battles, and there's some abilities that you use to cross into the other battles, or you have to defeat the opponent in front of you. Like I think that is very cool and all that.
I agree.
And just this, like I said, the stuff with the going into different arcs and worlds, but it not being you replaying them, but going in there with now them. Their current memories. It's like, okay, that could be fan servicey hokey stuff, but I don't know. That sounds cool. At least the stuff they showed and stuff sounds interesting.
Yes, I agree. No, I think you were right to do it. Have faith, Jeff.
I have faith.
Stand in your convictions.
And also, and thank you, Taylor. I know you're not listening to this. She gave me like some PlayStation Network money, so that's going towards One Piece Odyssey. That is definitely the first game I'm going to be playing. It's a demo as well, so I should. But I mean, you've said it. I'm getting this game.
Do it, Jeff.
We know,
Jeff. We know. Keep the faith.
What's your number 4? I'm curious what your. I'm sure it's going to be an obvious thing. I might even name some what your 3 and 4 are. I can guarantee what your 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, you're welcome to take guesses anytime you want. I think this one you might not think, but like you might not be able to come up with it from whole call. But as soon as I say it, it'll make sense. My number 4 is Oxenfree 2, baby. Oxenfree 2, baby.
Yeah, Oxenfree. I've not played Oxenfree, so that's why Oxenfree 2 is not on my list. But I know that is my kind of game.
Yeah, I know you would like, and you can. Also,
I just need to spend a night to just play the game. I have it on my Switch.
You could be in one city. Yeah. I think I did, or 2, whatever.
I think. I might have talked about this before because it's been Oxenfree 2 has been a long time coming. Mm-hmm. I think I'm pretty much just waiting for Oxenfree 2 release date to be announced.
Fair.
I play them kind of close together.
No, it's fair. So I would probably just play them back to back. Yeah, why not? This is one of those. Oxenfree was like such a cool, unique game, and it like kind of surprised me. I really knew nothing about it going into it, which I think is the best way to do it like that. But I did. It's one of those like weird, cool indie games with it did have an open and shut for the most part thing or whatever. But it was like I was always like, they could do a sequel of this. Like, there's like the vibe of this. I feel like you could, it left some meat on the bone. You could do something or whatever. So like, I never expected it necessarily, but when this happened, I was like, we're really, really excited about it. So it's like, I have faith that this is going to be very, very cool. I'm very interested to see like what they do exactly to like improve or whatever, because like the first game is puzzle light. It's mostly just the experience of the game. I'm just interested to see like gameplay wise like what new happens in it and everything exactly. But just vibe wise, few games have better vibes. It's true. It's spoopy. It has the teen drama.
Teen drama.
And it's just cool. It's very cool. Everybody go play Oxford.
Boop, boop.
Yeah, except for Oxford too.
Yeah, I think at this point my top 3 are probably obvious. Order might be debatable.
I think I even know the order.
Yeah, it's probably not the most surprising thing.
Knowing this will confirm if I know the order.
Resident Evil 4 number 3.
Yes, I know the order.
Yeah. Yeah, as talked about before, I'm a big Resident Evil head now. 4 is supposed to be one of the most beloved ones, and based on everything, I think they're gonna nail this remake. And I think for me, looking at like comparing it to my 3 and 4, One Piece Odyssey, I'm probably gonna love this game if it lives up to the hype. It's definitely not a GOTY contender for me. Probably, like I don't have any expectations to be my GOTY.
Yeah.
Even like Final Fantasy 16 probably has more of a chance, to be honest. I think Resident Evil 4 has a chance to potentially be my GOTY. If the next 2 games on my list come out, there's a chance. Probably not, but I do think there's that chance.
No, that's fair. But especially the way that people talk about it.
Because based on the fact that it seems like even like the reason I love Village so much is that it kind of mixes the more goofy vibe with the more survival horror-ish vibe of Resident Evil, where there are definitely extremes for that.
Right.
And Resident Evil 4 seems to be the other one that kind of mixes it very well based on what people have said. Even better than Village, according to a lot of people. So,
no, I'm very, very excited to hear your thoughts about this and just everyone. Yeah, I hope it lives up to what it was. But they've done so good with these. I'm
also excited to play that demo. They're going to release.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Darby, you're number 3, which I'm not.
Once I say it, you'll know. But it's definitely another one that you might not predict because it's not on your mind much.
Yeah. Okay, what is it?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, duh. Yeah. It's one of those things where I know when I wrote those down and put on the list, like, oh yeah, this and the same with Oxford's gonna be on the list, but yeah.
Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of the best RPGs ever made. Just end of statement, period, or whatever. Even if there are other ones, there are definitely other ones that I'm more attached to. I'm more attached to some Final Fantasy.
But from an objectivity standpoint, which is a weird thing for video games, but whatever. But
yes, but it just simply is like the mechanic, the systems in it and everything, and just how much like
choices matter.
How much agency you have over combat and characters and everything. It is like playing a damn D&D campaign in the game. To such a crazy degree. I mean, it just feels like the narrator is like stringing you along. It's crazy, and they did that on like not really that much of a budget. So it's really just as simple as like that studio making a very similar type of game with a big IP and a big budget, and they're obviously taking their sweet time making it, which is good. Yeah. But it's like I think we're off to the races. It's just as simple as that. I just expect Divinity with a magnify, like even more. Just like times 10. And like the races and everything is straight up using like the D&D universe now with Baldur's Gate and everything. It just looks like, I mean, Divinity is really cool and magical and stuff, but like it's a lot more tame of a world overall, I think, than like this Baldur's Gate world where it's like, chimera people or whatever. It's like not chimera or whatever. I can't think of the word. Scimitar people or whatever. The Cthulhu monster. Yeah. There's different, all these different races. This different thing. I just think, I don't know. This team with just given more budget and resources, like I'm in. So I'm in.
I do think there's a chance this is like one of those weird games where it's like I technically don't talk about it too much, but then when we get close, I'm like, fuck it and pick it up.
Yeah,
because on paper, obviously, Divinity Original Sin, and this should be my jam. And I know that.
I've never seen you play like a CRPG quite like this, but I still think you would really enjoy it. I think you would. It's like it's crunchy. It's very cool. It like has XCOM-y type of like hard strategy, but like more fantasy, and there's honestly even more things. I don't know. It's like it's cool. It's that mixed with also really cool storytelling and everything. It's definitely more of a Western thing where I think you gravitate to more Japanese RPGs, but like similar to like a Witcher type thing. Yeah, I mean, I think you would definitely.
We've talked about this. Obviously, I have things where I do more in it, but we know I like everything Western, Eastern, whatever.
But do not, with Divinity, I'm imagining with Baldur's Gate, do not feel bad about bumping down to easy, because I did too, and it's still very engaging and cool and everything. Just these games are like 100 plus hours long and tough as nails.
Honestly, like legitimately real talk, if like when the time this comes out is kind of free and whatever as far as like a release schedule, I don't know, it's one of those like I probably would just say fucking and jump in.
Especially if I'm just singing from the rooftops about it, because I might be doing that.
Because it just might legitimately be a Red Dead situation. It's like, this looks really cool, obviously, and even more so than Red Dead on paper, I should love this.
No, Red Dead was more of a surprise for me. I would not be super surprised about this.
Okay.
We're going to have a reverse order, but the last two is going to be the same.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say what they are, and then we'll just talk about them. My number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That is Darby's number 1. My number 1 is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's Darby's number 2. Darby, but I will say this.
Yes.
At the start of this podcast, I had Rebirth at number 1.
Oh, wow.
But the reason I changed it, I was going back and forth, but the deciding factor was I have my doubts this is actually coming out this year.
Fair. That's fair.
I was like, I was torn between them. I was like, oh wait, it may not come out this year. Okay, I'm just doing it.
I'm not gonna let that stop me. You know, if there's any hope,
that is fair.
But yes, that's fair.
No, it's like we've talked about it. Obviously, you are the Final Fantasy VII person here. It's your favorite game, all that kind of stuff.
But I know that I hog all the energy of that because of that. But I know that you obviously.
Honestly, I love Remake as well and all that kind of stuff. I love our crazy theory talks and all that stuff. We spent so many hours, and that would be a reason I would potentially put it above Tears of the Kingdom, because then it's like, okay, well,
Mike's on, let's go.
That is a game that the moment the second one of us complete the game is like, okay, get in there.
Especially again, this is raw anticipation. If you talk, I mean, like obviously, I would wipe all these other ones. You can move all the rest of them to next year. I don't give a shit. Like, to 2024, just give me this.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess we've done. It's self-explanatory, but just with how crazy the end of the first one, how amazing that's going to be to talk to everyone about or whatever, and just to see what the fuck they do with the open world, with the story, how it changes, just with everything.
Yeah, because it will give us a better idea. Also, like obviously, it's the second out of the 3, but even like early on, give us, and even from some of the marketing, I guess, will give us an idea of like how this trilogy is exactly going to go, as far as like everything they're going to adapt. I guess where the third game's even going to fucking start. I mean, we have an idea, but also it's like, man,
is there anything jollier than Final Fantasy VII Remake discussions and just like craziness? just like looking at Max videos, just like becoming a psychopath, really. It just like kind of going down the rabbit hole. It's amazing.
Yep.
You got your mind must expand. You must climb the psychological levels.
Yep. How fast will we get past Galaxy Brain? We're already there.
Zelda, Jeff.
Zelda. Yeah, obviously love Zelda. One of my favorite gaming franchises. Breath of the Wild, one of my favorite games of all time. This is a sequel to that, and it's a weird thing where it's like we technically have not seen enough footage, but what they have shown is enough for me to know that this game is going to have enough different in it to at least satisfy me and make me probably love the game. With the whole stuff in the sky, I'm still thinking we might go underground, and even if we don't, I'll be satisfied. And just showing this different stuff with the abilities and all that kind of stuff we've seen so far, knowing it's like that's not going to be everything, and just like story hooks and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, again, this is where like maybe the disappointment could come in, but I still am just assuming that we know fucking nothing about this game. We still like know very little, because there's some stuff in the sky. Cool. It's like, I feel that's about all we know, and I'm good with that. I don't want to know stuff or whatever, but like, I think they know the gravity of a sequel to Breath of the Wild. I think they understand that, and I'm expecting some. I mean, the first one had so many wow moments and had like that was probably one of the last open worlds I was like, that outside, like, Elden Ring and Red Dead, there's other ones or whatever, but it's like to be that enraptured in it or whatever. And I expect them to have some swerves and have some stuff in here.
I think there's odds are we're gonna play this game. You're like, oh, this is why it took 6 years.
Yes, yeah, that's
partly COVID, but even though it's like, yeah, oh, this is why it took so long.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's gonna be.
Yeah,
you just have faith. I just have faith in them to.
Yeah, and I know that I know this team, especially with the stuff they hid for the original Breath of the Wild and everything. They're not going to want to show much. That's why we barely got to everything. I know we're probably going to get. There's going to be a Nintendo Direct. You assume January, February. They always have one still. A trailer in there, if not just a dedicated Breath of the Wild Direct or Tears of the Kingdom Direct as well. Hopefully they don't go too crazy with that.
I hope it's just like super close to launch so I can just ignore it and just be like, well, whatever.
I'm probably gonna watch it because I'm an insane person. But,
no, I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully they don't go too crazy.
I think they would.
I think the fact that they've shown so little at this point when we're 5 months out is a good sign.
And just the thing about Breath of the Wild is honestly, some people would probably disagree about this because some people like get really attached to the champions and stuff in Breath of the Wild, where it's like I think they're fine, but they're nothing special.
They serve their purpose.
You could literally show trailers for Breath of the Wild that shows like the fucking ending cutscene, and you still wouldn't have spoiled why the game is great to me. I'd be like, okay, cool. We fight and kill Ganon. Sorry, so you fight Ganon at the end. Spoil. I mean, come on, whatever. I'd be like, okay, sure. Like the things that made Breath of the Wild great is like realizing I could throw a sword in a rainstorm and like it electrocutes it and like saps people. It was like launching yourself on a boulder, it's fucking like being in some shrine and they do some weird thing. It's like all the little tiny things, like the little interactable things in the world or whatever. It's like those were the moments that made Breath of the Wild great. So it's like in some ways, I don't want to say this completely, but it almost feels like unspoilable. It's like I think it's going to be the actual getting your hands on the
because even like other open world games, like this is a gameplay centric thing.
Much, yes. Yeah.
Where it's like there's some story in there, but whatever.
Almost even more than Elden Ring. I mean, Elden Ring is gameplay centric too. But if you had shown me some of those boss fights, I'd be like, oh no, I wanted to see that. Breath of the Wild, I really feel like it's such a sandbox. It's just such a sandbox.
Yes, exactly. It's like Elden Ring has locations, locale moments, and stuff where that's a lot more easily spoilable. Breath of the Wild is more just a sandbox when you do crazy shit in there. There are moments in there you can spoil, like the island where you lose all your shit. Right. I'm glad I did not know that.
Right.
And other moments, but yes, they're cut from the same cloth, but they're two totally different beasts.
They are. Yep. Very true. Love them both. But
we had a 2 hour and 30 minutes. That fun, Darby.
Yes, no, very good, very jolly. Love it. I hope it's not too big to fit in an audio podcast without having to shrink it down or do some weird shenanigans. But we'll find out to make sure it's not. I'll get out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching 2023, baby. Let's go.
Yep. 2023. Who knows when we'll do our 2022 and review shit? I don't know. Another month for some.
In January. That's we usually wait until the year is over.
Yep.
And we will do that.
Try to get some games done.
Later.
Bye.